break. I was waiting for it.
That was very good.
You guys switch to Windows. Properties.
By the way, we need to talk about how SmackDown is gonna get burned to the fucking ground.
I don't want the Discord on there.
No.
Wait, so don't make
No,
something
you-
fun.
I don't want the Discord on there.
Well, it's run by Connor, JP, and Rayshawn. Equally as bad.
Oh, that's right.
There you go.
Tomato.
Yes.
That's it?
Yes.
We're gonna air the backstage footage of all the incidences that we.
What's up,
recorded
guys?
next
Welcome
week.
to the show. I put all you motherfuckers on mute.
No.
I don't know if everybody can hear me. I apologize. But I was trying to fix something. I didn't know that we were starting it with this. But how's everybody doing tonight? We will talk some wrestling, guys. I am so excited to do this, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I got Heather with me. I got Heather with me. I got Connor with me. I got Trek with me. I got Basement, and I have Rayshawn with me. We're gonna talk this. We're gonna talk this week in wrestling, and this is something I think we need to do, especially after what I seen the day after. Not even the day after Raw, or the day after WrestleMania, but WrestleMania itself. Night 1 and Night 2. Yes, Night 1 and Night 2, they could have. We'll talk them real quick. We're going to talk what happened on Raw. We're going to talk what happened on NXT real quick. There's only one thing, really, that happened on that show. We're going to talk AEW Dynamite, and we're only going to talk probably a couple of things on that show until they start fucking giving me something that I really give a flying fuck about. And then we're going to talk SmackDown and what happened tonight. So I'm really excited to do this show. So I hope you enjoy it. This is our first time doing this. So I'm going to unmute everybody now. Are we good with the fucking comments? What's up, guys? How you doing?
Yeah, you was calling that it?
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. What's up, everybody? I feel very unqualified to talk about the subject.
You do. Yeah, okay. Motherfucker. You're about well, I mean, I have more years of experience. But I will say, I'm very excited. I'm excited to hear your thoughts, Connor, for reals. And what you've seen in the last week, at least.
I said this just for Mania itself, but I think I've said this before when we started talking about this, I think last weekend. Man, I'm so hopeful for the future. I am so excited for the future. Like, I cannot legitimately... I legitimately, as a fan, can't think of a time I've been so excited. Like, oh, man, this shit's going to be good. Like, yeah, you get, like, fleeting moments here and there and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know, just the positivity, the camaraderie, the teamwork, the effort. Everybody's getting their fucking flowers. The product is not perfect, but that's fine. I'm not expecting perfection.
No.
But, oh, my God, like... And obviously I'm talking WWE, AEW. WWE, there is, I am very, very excited for the future.
I am too. I am so excited. I'm going to go to the next person who actually, I'm going to do him last because he deserves it. But I'm going to go with Basement this time. What do you think, man? I don't know if you had a chance to watch all of it, but I know we've talked in our conversations that we've had. So at the end of it, it's like, I don't give a shit. I get it. I do get it. I get your point of view, and I love your point of view on wrestling. So we'll get into the whole thing. But how are you doing tonight?
I am doing. Actually, you know what, man? Work was fucking horrible. So there's that. I'm glad to be done with it.
Yep.
I think it's like, glad you asked.
Kind of in the same boat with you guys. I mean, my last little experience with wrestling, I have been watching the PLEs for WWE for the last 6 or 8 months. I've found them all like average, which is not a bad thing.
No.
None of them have been bad. None of them have really blown my socks off. WrestleMania was the best event that they put on. I think you guys probably appreciated the main event a little bit more than I did. I get it. It was still a good main event.
Yes.
It was heavily overbooked.
Oh, of course. But
as long as you have the majority of the fan base walking away saying they liked it, you did something right.
Right.
Someone said something about that main event real fast that I thought was very like, yeah, it's kind of marketing, bullshit, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I could kind of see that. Someone's like, wow, that match celebrated 40 years of WrestleMania almost in one match. It's like,
fucking did.
Okay, I could sort of buy that.
The only one that was not there, and I'm sorry, Connor. The only one that was not there was Hulk Hogan. He was the very first WrestleMania.
And I think he means just in the building period.
The only weird thing for me with WrestleMania, and honestly, it actually was The Undertaker, and I started seeing things that was supposed to be Stone Cold, which would make a bit more sense. It's not like it doesn't make sense that it's The Undertaker, but you could tell because The Undertaker, everybody else is in like fucking wrestling gear. This guy shows up in like a sweater.
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, okay, that's kind of strange for like.
Listen, I'll be very honest, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and mind you, this is my bias towards the the change in the product, and also my bias that the Undertaker's the GOAT. Fucker could show up in a goddamn chicken suit, and I wouldn't give a shit at that point. They'd thrown every fucking thing at the goddamn, except for the kitchen sink, and even that, I'm pretty sure there was one of those in the fucking ring where they just went absolutely balls out. Where like, even I am like with the like Taker, I'm like, but at that point, I'm just like throw your hands up in the air. It's like, let's just go on this roller coaster. Let's just see where it goes.
I think
having Taker there makes sense, though.
Okay, I'll get y'all's final thoughts on WrestleMania here in a minute.
Okay.
But Ray Sean, what did you think?
I think it was a great show.
Well, just I'm talking about the past week. What do you think?
Oh, the past week?
Yeah.
You're talking about the...
I don't know if you've watched the weekly product. Do you have a renewed...
I watched 1 hour of Raw.
Interest.
That's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the YouTube snippets.
Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's really not.
If you had time to
And
actually
based
sit down
on
and
what I
watch
saw-
it, if you had to, so my question to you is, if you had a chance to sit down and watch it, you would.
What, the product itself?
Yes.
Based on
What
like
you
the
see.
PLEs and
Would-
all that,
would
I
you
could
be
see
like-
that it's going in a direction where I could actually sit down and
Okay.
enjoy the show without feeling bored.
If I wasn't working, I would watch it.
See,
That's how I feel.
That's what I'm looking for, and I know.
Oh, you're looking for that?
Time. No, I mean now. But anyway, we'll get to it. We'll talk more. I'm so sorry. I'm chugging down. I'm drinking cherry beer, by the way, everybody. What do you think? What do you think? Heather hasn't. I mean, she did.
Adams?
When you open a new candy, you say, I'm about to break a cherry.
Oh, yeah.
Are you drinking Samuel Adams cherry wheat?
No, it's Leinenkugels.
Leinenkugels.
Oh.
Lakeside
Down track!
Lakeside cherry. It's really fucking good, man.
I'm gonna bait your cherry.
I'm gonna get
Just
me some
chugs
of
it
that
down.
Dixon cider. Anyway,
These nuts.
so Heather, Heather doesn't watch, but she did tonight. What did you think? What do you think? Will you sit down? We watched WrestleMania together. I think it's the first time we've watched WrestleMania together since we've been here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She actually sat down and watched
Yeah.
WrestleMania with me. What do you think?
This is definitely top 5 manias for me.
Right, we'll get to the Mania, but
It's like, what did you think about WrestleMania? Yeah, we'll get to the
main.
main.
With that.
Okay,
Give me a
go ahead.
fucking break, man.
He asked you, what did you think about me?
did I say?
What did you think about
I meant
Mania?
this
It's
week.
like, this is what I thought about. We're not talking. We'll get to Mania.
Right, I meant, so when I'm asking this question, I actually want about the entire week of wrestling. I'm sorry. Thank you, guys. Thank you for correcting me. Go fuck yourself. Anyway. Go ahead, Heather.
We get paid enough for this.
Again, Mania in itself is one of the top 5 manias for me, but bringing the whole week together, it really amplified what happened at Mania and into what's coming for the future.
Right.
I have honestly, and Heather can vouch for this. What did I do? What have I done? I'm walking around. I'm pacing back and forth. Like, I would just sit and watch the show, and I would say, "What the fuck are they doing? And why are they doing this?" And I'm talking about the weekly shows. I'm actually getting up and pacing back and forth, and I'm coming in and telling Heather,
that a
"Hey,
good
I think
thing?
I know where they might be going down this path," and we'll get into.
There's no
those.
Pepe Sylvia.
But so she knows. Like that's all I do anymore is I pace back and forth. You know what they're gonna do.
So real quick,
I'm so
I just wanted
excited for that.
to piggyback off of what Heather said as far as top 5 WrestleManias. I won't go into like too much depth as far as the my thoughts on like where it would be on the ranking, but I will say that I do agree it's definitely up there with one of the best WrestleManias ever, if for no other reason than the fact that I gave a shit a lot more about more of the matches than a lot of other WrestleManias in the past. In the sense of
WrestleMania 9.
No, I'm talking about like a intrigue, interest, and like build going into almost every single match on the card, with obviously like one exception, but that like each match had a purpose behind it in some way, shape, or form. Whereas you have Manias where it's like, oh, there's a random fucking match for the sake of a random fucking match, or like a random undercard or a battle royal. Yeah, or like fucking like, bro, oh, here comes Brodus Clay against Damian Sandow. Yeah, that's WrestleMania fucking worthy. Instead of just like a random throw on their match, with the exception of maybe the 6-woman tag, every match had at least some point or purpose behind it, which to me just elevates that even higher, where it's like, yeah, it's not the best show. There are matches that flopped, but by God, they fucking tried on everything and tried to make us give a shit, which I got to tip my hats off on that one. So.
I prefer this Mania to anything we got in the last fucking 10 years.
I absolutely agree.
As like an overall product.
I agree 100%.
I mean, the biggest pop in recent WrestleManias is when the Hardy Boys came back.
I would almost argue, and actually I'm going to save it, because I didn't get a chance to talk about that. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about, were the pops in this fucking WrestleMania.
And how many there were.
And how big they were.
Gotta have my pops.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, so, like I said, Heather gets the back and forth with me, so she understands. She watched tonight. We'll get into what happened tonight, and I fucking love it. So the final person I'm gonna bring on here is, and he's been with me pretty much from the beginning almost, and he's been a part of the community of bullshit. But I'm not going to go into that. But I've known Trek for, how long is it now, Trek?
So about 6 or 7 years now.
7 years, and he started the show with me.
What?
Not this show.
For some reason, I think you're gonna say like a few minutes.
So no, you're fine. The started this show, this particular name of this show. I don't know if he started with me on it, but I think he's one of the originals. This is when I brought him in. I think it was in my show. We have to go back and look at my channel and look at it. But I've been looking forward to bringing this back. If y'all don't know what you're looking at right now, and this is where I'm going to have a moment here. And Trek, go ahead and tell me what you thought of this week. Have you watched the product this week, or have you just been catching snippets? And it's okay if you have.
I watched WrestleMania, and I thought it was good. I caught some of the snippets of it on YouTube. And I thought what they did was very good. I mean, it was probably one of the best Raws after Mania and NXT and SmackDown and everything. I thought this whole week was really good.
So this thumbnail was made by Bobbit, if y'all didn't know. This is I'm like, hey, I got an idea. And this is when me and Heather and Drew and
Johnny Sinister.
Johnny, and if you don't know, if you remember him, Trek and Bobbit, and we would just sit and we would try to do this review thing. But usually it was me telling everybody, you don't
fucking
know
wrong.
what the fuck you're talking about. So this is
Somehow that's not much of a stretch, but good.
But I just want Bobbit.
Times have changed.
This will be the thumbnail, and we can grow it from there. But this is the original thumbnail that Bobbit gave me to do the show with. Just so everybody know.
Do you have a PNG of that? Because I actually have a really cool idea of what to do with that.
We can make it into a PNG.
I can, yeah.
I
or
can
you
too.
guys.
Because I think would look really cool is if you did like a brick background and made that the top of an old school wrestling poster.
Yeah, I was gonna do something.
It does look like an old school. It's old school wrestling text.
Did something similar to that. So
I just inverted the colors on the other one.
She upgraded it, and I looked at it, and it actually has like silhouettes of actual wrestling going on.
Visually, I'm also just a fan of like old school wrestling posters. Like I have a few of them in my collection of like stuff from like the Boston Garden and Madison Square Garden.
It'd even be cool to have the PNG in front of like a poster related to like the main event.
What we're talking about? Yeah, like we can
Cody
interchange
Rhodes,
it.
like American flag background with the skull behind that.
Absolutely.
Just make me come.
I already did.
That was before the show started.
but so I
he's having a heart attack.
just wanted everybody to know that we're going to work on this because I know I have some graphic designer fucking people. I want to do this show.
Okay, I'll do it while we're on the fucking air. I don't give a shit.
Don't do it while we're on the air. We need you here.
So the thumbnail.
The actual thumbnail.
Heather threw together today. Now, the thing is, I've got a question for the chat. Bobbitt's the one that made that thumbnail, and he is in our thumbnail, and he is that angel. I know who's sitting in that thumbnail. I'm going to let the chat vote. Would you rather have Bobbitt or Rayshawn in that thumbnail? Being in that thumbnail, if that makes sense to you.
I think that's a little unfair.
Oh yeah, why you gotta put Rayshawn? Rayshawn under
You're putting Rayshawn in a no-win situation here, man.
I understand that, but I mean, I kind of like having Rayshawn in there.
Well, why can't we have everybody in there?
That's not.
Everybody is in on it.
Like I said, we can do whatever with that thumbnail.
Well, I'm working on it now, so I'm in the middle of it. So send me your shit.
Let's get it.
Oh my God! There's a poll. Somebody voted. Who?
So I will do this.
What the fuck? What?
This is ridiculous.
Oh, it's not looking good for Rayshawn. I don't even understand why we have to have one or the other. Why don't you just have everybody? Rayshawn's like, what the fuck? Super racist?
1, 2, 3, 4.
The only black guy.
So this is a GIF that I'm gonna fucking. I do this on my channel when I'm talking football. Welcome to the party, pal. We're gonna have some fun on this show.
Sorry, Steve. Give us a second. 6 votes. Are you kidding?
I just voted for myself.
Did you vote for
what?
How
did you do this? Why is this even happening?
Himself. You know, I haven't voted yet. So, Rayshawn, I might vote for you. Just so you know.
How you create this poll and vote for me?
So we're gonna put Rayshawn against Bob. Why? Why was the reason?
We're gonna play it. I mean,
that's
come
the
on.
question he's asking,
and that's the question I was asking.
Oh my God!
But if we can put everybody in there, that'd be great. But
everybody's currently in there.
Not really.
I need a few.
Are we voting on getting rid of Rayshawn from?
No, swapping Rayshawn and Bobbitt's spots
on the thing.
Oh.
That's
clear.
all I'm saying. I'm not saying that we're gonna fucking.
I think we just changed the thumbnail to just be a big version of Rayshawn's face.
Bobbitt's gonna be the only one in the fucking thumbnail. I just think we should, in the wording. I think Bobbitt should be in there, but I can understand if we leave Rayshawn. Heather did say kind of Bobbitt, kind of, and then Rayshawn kind of. How did you say it?
Probably.
I'm sorry. But anyway, let's get to... So welcome to the party, pal.
I think you're already well with the
Just move on. You can't just move on from that.
We're doing so.
83% though?
I haven't voted yet.
You can't vote.
Sure I can.
Oh my god!
I love how he says I haven't voted yet, and he doesn't say I'm going to vote for you, Rayshawn. He just says I haven't voted yet.
We're gonna leave that up. We're gonna leave that.
Why? I don't. Okay, well.
We're all gonna leave that up until the end of the show. It's okay.
Heather, send me over. Whoever has that logo, send it over my way because I'm working already on the thumbnail.
Heather's got it. We'll send it to you later.
Do you have it like being
I gotta get off of this computer.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll
Cool your jets, dog.
No.
I heard Blanche the cat even voted for Bob.
I used to have a teacher that said "Cool your jets," and I wanted to fucking shoot her in the head.
No, Blanche the cat.
But now I say
she
it.
gets on my fucking computer all the time.
She does.
Fucking walks all over. I'm sitting there fucking typing something today for work, and that motherfucker come over and just sat down right on my fucking computer.
Yep.
Oh, I was trying to send a very serious email at the time. All I said is JKLF, JKLF, JKLF. I'm like, I had to move her. I'm like, you can't be up here.
The poll just says, "Who would you rather?"
Who would you
They're here for the
rather?
conversation. They know what it means.
Oh my god!
I see we're making fun of Heather. Hey, she worked hard today, man. Don't make fun of her.
Work hard and pulling me out.
She didn't call anybody out. Look at where Look at where you are as compared to where Bobbit is. I think Bobbit should be underneath the wording.
And they don't allow much room in the question for these polls.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
But you didn't try to move
Final
anybody
thoughts
out.
on WrestleMania.
Final thoughts on the thumbnail.
Final thoughts. So I haven't even given mine. I haven't even given mine. Just chill out.
I don't even know what to think about
The Undertaker got, the pop that the Undertaker got, this is my final thought, because I didn't get to say this the other night. My final thought about the Undertaker's pop was bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin's.
I think I don't know about that.
It was
I think Stone Cold, the only reason it was going to be a huge pop is because he's hiding under the ring, and they cannot work with the whole stadium turning dark, right? And then the people are popping for that dong.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was an equal pop.
Guilty.
If Stone Cold would have came out, it would have been the same amount of pop.
I agree. That's why I said as loud. Or louder. It's arguable.
Yeah.
Arguable.
No, we didn't see the other one.
If it was inside, not outside, it probably would have been fucking huge.
Yeah. But for it to be an outside stadium and still hear that pop, that shows you something.
Yeah.
The one thing that I find funny is certain people are saying, it's not that loud because it's an open roof stadium. I can tell you right fucking now, Seattle Seahawks, where they play, is the loudest stadium in the fucking United States.
Even if it's open, it's still made for like acoustics. It
is.
Yeah.
It's so
Baltimore's
dumb.
gets pretty loud too.
I mean, I can understand the argument on night one that it was cold and it kind of takes people out of it, but these people are from Philly. Most people
that were there, they were from Philly.
Some of them were from Philadelphia, and if you're going to complain about the weather after you paid $1,000 to go sit, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Damn you, God!
You knew it was going to be an open air stadium because they very plainly said it.
And I'm gonna the weather in Philadelphia can get cold in April.
Yeah.
Yep.
It gets fucking. It snowed here last week. So everybody sitting there complaining about fucking cold can shut the fuck up, in my opinion.
Especially when they're there in fucking like big ass fucking winter coats, and you look in the ring and it's guys in fucking Speedos.
Exactly.
Because they're dude, those people in Green Bay on a Sunday night where it's -4 fucking degrees outside playing football in a game that's, I see it all the fucking time here. Guys standing around in fucking Speedos. I mean, it's stupid, but standing around in fucking Speedos fucking just going nuts because they're so fucking drunk. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about anymore.
That's what they should have done. All those fans get mashed up and get down to Speedos.
I've done it. Not in the state, not in that big of an area, but I have literally gone out and just stood in the cold weather in my Speedo. I did it during the fucking Super
Okay, that was good.
My point is, people complaining about the cold can shut the fuck up. It wasn't that fucking cold. It was cold.
Get away from the East Coast if you can't handle it.
I think the only people complaining about the cold should be the people that were in the cold. You have these people like fucking living states away. It's like, I was only bad because of the cold. Were you there? Shut the fuck up.
I am full guilty of like, I'm freezing. I hate this cold. We'll move.
Yeah.
Honestly, 50-something degrees is not cold.
I'm good.
I went out in fucking shorts and flip-flops. You fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I like the cold, man. Suck my dick.
Yeah, I like it too.
You like it?
Okay, Paul.
I don't like the super cold. I like the the sweatshirt cold.
I don't like any of the extremes. Going super cold or super hot, they can all go to hell. Like
but
right in that
54
mid-zone.
degrees? Come on, that's not OD cold.
No, I mean nobody really complained. The people that were complaining about it was Twitter for the most part.
Yeah.
Just to complain about something.
But
well,
Twitter just complains about everything.
I'm gonna go to WrestleMania just to complain that I was cold.
So it's funny. I did see. I can't remember what interview it was, but I want to say it was the one that Cody did on the Today Show right after he won the belt, right? Which kudos for him for fucking flying around. Fucking that day was fucking pain in the ass. Anywho, Cody was saying like, oh yeah, they said that the ring was heated for Mania just in case, which it technically was. They had like, I think they had like a cube of heating lamps like above the ring. You couldn't see it in some of the production areas when they like panned back, but like if you looked up and under or like under and up, you could see it in certain shots. It was very like, sporadic. But Cody was like, they said that they said the ring was heated, and he's like shaking his head vigorous like, it did nothing.
If you've ever been out there in the cold with heating lamps, it's like you either get the heat or you get nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like, my arm is outside the heating lamp, frozen.
They should have had an Inferno match in WrestleMania.
Like there's
they should have lit the whole fucking stadium on fire.
Hey, that works too.
Yeah, no shit.
Should have had a Booker T entrance.
Oh yeah.
Pain.
Well, they had Drew McIntyre, but this was night 2, where I'm like, thank God he went to the right fucking turnbuckle, or else he would have got a face full of fire.
Yeah, he would have been in the same club as the Undertaker, where he got lit on fire.
That's honestly immediately what I thought during his entrance.
Yeah.
Right.
So all 3 others lit up.
We just went on a random conversation while you went away.
We were talking about cold, and we turned into talking about fire.
Okay.
Oh,
so I just wanted to get everybody's final thoughts. Anything from WrestleMania that?
No, we can move on.
Good Mania.
You need to chill the fuck out.
Raw.
Honestly,
I think we can move on to Raw. I just didn't know if anybody had any final thoughts.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say that that Jimmy and Jay match exposed that both of them cannot wrestle.
The thing is, together they can. I feel like together they're fine. Singles wise, they have the problem of a very limited moveset. I'm sure they can do more, but they don't want to all of a sudden. Like, it'd be so weird to see Jimmy and Jay fight each other, and all of a sudden they're fucking doing every move under the sun.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck was this shit? I think they like prioritized trying to tell a story that just didn't get over in ring as well as they wanted it to, and I'm sure the idea for that match was like, you gotta go out there, you gotta super kick each other, you gotta Samoan slam, you gotta fucking jump off the top ropes, and you gotta go back and forth, and like the which is the worst of the two? Jimmy, right?
Jimmy.
Yeah, it was Jimmy was like down on the ground, and that went on forever. He's like, "I'm sorry, brother," like twisting his hand. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
We'll get to Jay. So Raw kicked off, or anybody else got anything?
You're good.
Okay. So Raw kicked off with, of course, and you knew what was going to happen. They were going to bring in Cody Rhodes, and this segment on Raw lasted about 40 minutes or 45.
Something like that.
It lasted a long time. And it was needed, though, because they're moving on to a different era. And I don't think that this... I honestly think WWE Raw is going to go back to 2 hours.
Yep.
It can go as long as it wants because Netflix is going to be running it. And if you don't want to watch it, they'll change channel.
No, 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's going to 2 hours, but they're gonna go if they have to go over.
Yeah, 2.5. I think it's gonna be.
There's nothing that they need to do moving to Raw that says, "Oh my God, we gotta fucking save time. We got to do this." This is what I think Vince wanted to do.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those like it could be 1 hour 45, it could be 2.5, depending on what we have planned.
So if they have to run over on something,
they
have that time. So you can see world title matches on Raw, and you know how NW. Remember when NWO did that Hulk Hogan versus the Giant? When they did that, he was supposed to get his title shot. He never fucking did, and they did the overrun. And it went into another show that was because of WCW. They brought it in, and that was Mortal Kombat.
Right.
And they brought it back from another commercial, and there was Hulk Hogan, and it went one segment, but it was like 15 minutes into the fucking.
The Netflix deal, I think, like to you guys' point, is that I think there's aspects and avenues of it from a creative and a production standpoint that like is going to be a new landscape for them.
Yes.
New landscape for them, but also new landscape for potentially like sports and maybe other venues or avenues.
This is
live television.
Right. I think what WWE's doing with the opening here is saying, hey, we can do this, and we can do a 45 fucking minute promo, and we can still give you 2 hours of wrestling. Right?
Well, this is when they're not going to get to a match, and it's like, well, we planned for more than 4 minutes of action. But we got to get to the next segment. The last segment ran long. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get gypped from certain things that I know in the past. It's like, well, we have The Rock out there. We'll let him go, and he goes 10 minutes long, and it impacts the next match.
There is going to be. So what I'm getting at, and I'll end it with this. What I'm getting at is there's going to be no. Well, we have to do this because at the top of the hour we're moving on to the next show. We have to finish this segment. There's nothing wrong with leaving something hanging for next week, but if you're in the middle of something, you don't have to cut that match short that you want to actually give it time to. The
handcuffs that come with network television are
correct.
They are.
This is why, and I think USA with their tweet that they put out, it says, you know. They said something, and somebody actually said they're still going to fucking Netflix, dude. And there's a reason why. Because you have to cut them short because you want to show Law and fucking Order.
Do we know how long the SmackDown deal is going to be for USA?
I think it's going to be ending soon. I think it's ending in 2025.
No. Like SmackDown's going from Fox to USA.
No, that's going to be 2 hours. They can give that.
No, when?
No, it's going to be 5
How long on USA is... Okay, that's what I was looking at. Because what I was going to say was...
I heard the end of 2024.
So what I was going to say was, my guess is that depending on how things go with Netflix, and hopefully they go well, I don't know why they wouldn't, but if things go well with Netflix, I would not be in the least bit surprised that they would get SmackDown.
We had this discussion.
Honestly, what I would see is SmackDown. I think wrestling will be one of those things that lasts on cable TV one of the longest because they need the exposure to an extent. But I can see SmackDown would not go to Netflix. It would go to like Prime Video, a different competitor. Because then,
really?
Like, if you put everything on Netflix, you're restricting the audience. Yeah, you're restricting the audience, and you're also fucking assigning like your entire industry is shackled to that streaming platform. This is why they had them on different TV networks anyway.
I get it, but I think I don't know. I mean, I get what
I think it's safe to go to a different streaming platform.
It is safe, and I think they'd be accused of monopolizing the streaming services.
I don't think that would happen.
Streaming services buying their rights.
But I could easily see SmackDown going to like Prime Video or something along those lines.
I'm not disagreeing with anybody here. What I'm saying is, of course, you're going to get some of those people that are going to be, oh, WWE is just the fucking people inside fucking, like the AEW fans are like, oh, WWE is just manipulating and monopolizing on the fucking sports and the streaming industry because they can. We'll get to fucking WWE and fucking AEW here in a minute, but
real quick, you think that WWE would split Raw and SmackDown between two streaming services, kind of in the same vein of like
I would do
Well,
it.
no, I'm just
Just let him finish.
Go
I'm just
ahead.
I'm just thinking the thought process out because I think and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong here. Would the thought process be to kind of like split the cable market, kind of like what they did with Raw and SmackDown way back when, where Raw was on prime time and then SmackDown being on basic cable, where you're trying to hit two audiences at once as opposed to monopolizing everything onto one?
The problem is if you sign a deal and everything's on Netflix and Netflix starts taking a hit stock-wise, you are forced to take a hit on your whole business stock-wise.
Well,
it does not make
that's
sense
a good
from
point.
like a financial point of view to do that.
I don't understand why would WWE have like 3 different streaming platforms when they already have Peacock. Now they have Netflix.
Because Peacock's not
Peacock's
available worldwide.
I'm
Netflix
sorry.
is. Peacock is not available worldwide. Netflix
Okay.
is. That's why.
Yeah.
So they
It's
can
not.
same day. Amazon
It's
Prime.
not. It's not because of anything. It's just Netflix is worldwide. People. Not everybody has. Not like Sri Lanka.
So why don't they
Sri
put
Lanka
the
doesn't
WWE
have.
network on Netflix?
Sri Lanka doesn't have NBC.
I mean, it's also like to the point when its contract comes up, it's going to probably go to the highest person that's paying, because as long as they can forecast financially that Netflix will be viable for 3 or 5 years, then they might go to Netflix. I think financially, though, it would make sense to spread out your product so that if something all of a sudden falls apart, you can't predict the future. People can fucking jump off Netflix in droves, and then you're not going to be floating Netflix subscriptions with Raw alone.
No. I also had this thought here. A lot of people that have Amazon Prime also have Netflix, so in a way they would be double dipping the industry as well.
I mean, you're going to get some overlap no matter what.
So
right?
that's all I'm thinking. But I think
So you get exposure when you go on different platforms. It just makes sense to spread out. Honestly,
I agree. I think you're right. I just want to know where the PLEs are going to be, because that is some of the best TV I have seen in a while. I'm just saying. And I'll get I pay-per-views.
That's the biggest problem if you go to 2 different streaming platforms. You have to have the PLEs accessible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about more than anything else.
I didn't see WrestleMania. We couldn't afford WrestleMania when I was a kid growing up.
We had WrestleMania at home, and it's just JP beating the shit out of his brother.
The only thing I got from WrestleMania was little vignettes. And when I was able to rent a tape from Blockbuster, VHS tape, I fucking rented WrestleMania and watched it, and I was like, wow. My grandfather recorded it for me. You had to have a satellite TV in order to fucking get pay-per-views.
Well, for me, like the cost was enormous. It was like, even back then, it was like $60, right?
Yeah.
So like nobody was ordering that shit. I remember for like some WrestleManias, some pay-per-views, I went to the theater to watch them. So it was like going to a movie. You get
I wish I did.
We didn't have that here.
That was a great experience for like a year. I went to the theater for pretty much every
I would love to have
pay-per-view.
done that.
So, but
watching it like fucking 10 years after the fact on VHS, it's still alright.
Right. So no, I'm sorry. So Cody Rhodes come out. Triple H introduced a new era. He didn't say the name of the era, but they're hinting at what it's going to be. They kept on saying the Paul Levesque era. Triple H did not say that.
Which would be ironic because it would make it the PLE.
The way that they did things, like this promo.
That's pretty good.
It's terrible. Well, I know it's good. But...
Who wants to see the PLE of PLE?
Well,
one thing they have to stop doing is, I'm good with the like WrestleMania night and Raw praising fucking Triple H. You got to holster that before it becomes too much ass licking.
Right. So, so he doesn't even want the spotlight. He just wants to put on a good show, and he said it in his presser.
This is where I question. It's like I don't want the spotlight, but like every fucking person coming out there, it's like, oh, we're gonna try to this motherfucker. Yeah.
Well,
have you heard of Paul Levesque?
So
it's the Paul Levesque era. By the way, I'm a Paul Levesque guy. My kid is Paul Levesque.
And I get it, but he
I named him after
his fucking flowers. I think he does.
I know, but there's a point in time where you don't want to go further than where they've gone with it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Before it starts getting
Triple
Paul Levesque, and you just
Paul
fucking get to your
Levesque
knees and start licking the air.
But I think Triple H really doesn't want the spotlight.
He can back his ass up into your fucking
He's
face.
already had it. He had
I think Renaissance era is a fucking perfect
name.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Triple H has already had the spotlight. He wants to pass it on to somebody else, and that's what he's doing. Triple H, I get why people, but he is the reason why. And this is a shot at AEW saying, hey, look, fuckers, we're done fucking with you. If you're going to be a fucking douchebag, we're just going to keep doing this shit. If you want to have fun and work together, fine. If not, shut the fuck up. That's what I think they're fucking doing.
Especially after Ospreay opening his mouth.
We'll get there. We'll get there. It's coming. But
so am I.
The Rock come out and started. He said, "We're not done yet." What this means, I have heard rumors. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't. It's too far out for me. But I do know where they're going for the short term, or where I like them. Where I would like them to go. That changed with what happened tonight. That changed with what happened tonight for me. And
Oh my god, your shirt here.
I do not know what in the fuck is so goddamn fucking funny.
I got a question for you.
God damn, woman.
Let's go the short term. But you, what did you think of the actual promo with The Rock and Cody Rhodes? Because at times I felt it was like, I mean, the fans chanted awkward. And
this was awkward.
Yeah.
Like that whole belt thing was a bit weird.
It went on a little too long.
Yeah, I'm an agreement.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't.
If you hold my,
That okay, so that I.
By the way, that was a callback.
It's I get what you're saying, but it was what is it, foreshadowing what they're gonna do.
It's also a callback to when Rock introduced the last title and Cody's like, I just want to get real close. They didn't really make it very obvious that was what the reference was because nobody fucking remembered it. But in any case,
that's why it was just like, what the fuck is happening?
So it was a weird thing. But what they were trying to do was, which I kind of got that hint at it on SmackDown, was it was a weird one. It was a little off-centered. Fine. But there were two things they did with that, is that they planted seeds for something that they can revisit back in like later on whenever they want to. They didn't put a date on it. They didn't put a stamp on it. They just they left it wide open for the fans to remember, like, hey, we're going to be revisiting this. And it was like a pretty obvious, like, it's going to happen, which I thought was just like, genius.
It's a good idea, but like the promo for The Rock especially was, and I think because he let the fans kind of dictate a lot of what was happening there, he like his character kind of like changed a bit on the dime. I think the promo was supposed to be for him like having Cody earned his respect a little bit. But he had to play up the fans fucking hating the shit out of him, and then he played with them being like a super heel. What do you think he gave him?
Broken watch.
That was the other thing I was mentioning about like planting a seed they can use to revisit in the future. Is like it's you gotta fucking roll your eyes when I say this. It's a goddamn Marvel trope. They do the same thing where they leave something open and it's like we're gonna talk about.
Well, I mean, WrestleMania was like Marvel. Everybody's coming out of the fucking woodwork.
They do, however, I think that this is again. It's now they're going into Cody's second chapter.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing. Cody is not losing to Rock, like everybody thinks, and I'm not saying The Rock will fucking beat Cody.
I don't even know if Cody is fighting The Rock.
He will.
In all honesty, it's like the next up for The Rock is Roman Reigns.
It will. I'm telling you, what happened tonight tells a lot of what happened. So they foreshadowed is all they did with this. Like Connor said, that's what I call it foreshadowing.
They were also smart enough. I don't know if you guys caught this, and I don't know whose idea was it, but they were also smart to be like, whether you have the belt or not. I'm like, okay, so you're leaving yourselves guys a pretty wide margin.
I don't think Cody will be champion.
I think we're gonna have Roman and Rock, if possible, at SummerSlam.
Well, I was thinking about that, and this could lead the potential where you could do Cody and Rock at SummerSlam, and Roman fucks over The Rock.
Yeah,
you can only do so much with The Rock because it's availability.
I am telling you right now,
and he's fucking A young man?
I'm telling you, that is what they did tonight.
What they did tonight, from what I understand, we'll get to it, I guess. We're not done with Raw yet.
I got a half chub.
What did they do tonight? Because I didn't watch it.
Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it right.
Really good.
We'll probably never get to it.
So,
but I did watch 1 hour of Raw, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So Raw, this segment was really good. It foreshadowed what they're gonna do in the future. They're not gonna do it at the next fucking PLE. I don't think they're doing it at SummerSlam. Ilya Dragunov faced Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, let's keep in mind that Ilya Dragunov, and this is foreshadowing for NXT. Ilya Dragunov took on Shinsuke Nakamura. Ilya Dragunov ended up beating Shinsuke Nakamura. It was actually a really good match. Yeah. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but this is some foreshadowing as to what's going to happen on Tuesday.
So now Shinsuke has a reason to be on NXT?
If they're smart, Shinsuke will cost him the title, and then his actual introduction on the main roster will be against Shinsuke for Payback.
That's part of what they're going to do. I really do.
Oh, sorry, real fast side note too, and rightfully so. They also announced. I don't even think they announced it on Raw. I think it was right before on social media. They said that what else is happening later on this month? JP's favorite words. A good old-fashioned draft lottery.
Yes, in 3 weeks.
It's honestly needed at this point.
Yeah. And they are going to...
Yep, because it actually fucking means something. So
I stand corrected on that. They are in 3 weeks, and they are going to include NXT. But
they've always included NXT, but they haven't redrafted entirety of NXT's roster.
I don't think they're going to do what you're thinking, Connor. I really don't. Not from what
they're going to include the NXT guys that have declared for the draft. That's it.
Yes.
They've done that in the past where they include 4 or 5 NXT
there'll be
people.
The lower level people.
I don't think NXT will. Is NXT going to draft? Because I don't think they will.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's from.
They didn't really go into specifics as far as I understand it, but I'm.
So what they're doing with NXT is they're taking those that don't get drafted and they're going to pick and choose. Shawn Michaels is going to be like, I'm going to take this fucking guy and I'm going to turn him into a fucking... He's not going to be a fucking... He's not going to be a guy that they call up.
Well,
you know what I mean?
They already took Karrion Kross and the fucking AOP.
Yes.
Which needed to happen because that needs something going for it.
He's going to end up showing up on NXT. Karrion Kross. And they're going to be like, we're going to fucking keep you down here. And we're going to build you the way we wanted to fucking build you. And we're going to...
I wonder what that means with AOP. Will AOP just
be in NXT.
Okay.
They need to stay down there for at least 6 months, honestly. And it's not because they need work. It's like the audience needs to
the popularity.
Builds up the popularity. They made they're on WWE. Because Karrion Kross came out and cut the promo and he said I deserved it. It was on actually Twitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said I deserve it. It was a digital exclusive. He's like, I showed his back and everything. I think they're going to send him down to NXT. They're going to build him up, and he's going to come back, and he's going to destroy Bobby Lashley. I mean, he's literally going to destroy Bobby Lashley.
So the what I like about this is that this is kind of what NXT was supposed to be. What?
Yes.
Not you. What I mean by that, he's literally going to destroy Bobby Lashley.
Well, I mean that's they're building this feud.
Just the visual I got was like South Park shit.
But I think this is long-term storytelling with Triple
What
H.
I was going to say was
I'm gonna squash the shit out of you, but now you're gonna fucking climb through the ranks. You're gonna come back in 7-8 months at Royal Rumble, and you're gonna destroy Bobby Lashley.
During the infancy days of OVW, when it was becoming a developmental for WWE way back when, one of the things that OVW doubled as was not just a developmental territory, but was also, and they didn't do this too often, but they did sort of, it was like a rehab/reset center for some characters or some wrestlers who either needed to get off TV, redo their work, whatever the case may be. Big Show went down to OVW. I think Mark Henry, a couple of others. And so... Yep. So what the reason I like what they're doing here with NXT is because it becomes a viable separate entity away from the main product, where it's almost in this almost like fucking and I mean this is the best way possible. It's like purgatory.
Yeah.
Right?
NXT is in-house AEW. When I say it's going to a different product to reinvent, especially for these guys that need to reinvent themselves. And I mean, I'm 100% okay with that. They've already done this for years, though.
So, yes, I think the WWE, Braun Breaker, and we'll get to that. So, the new World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest came out, and
so did R-Truth.
So did R-Truth. So Rhea Ripley, they have their two main champions still fucking stuck in this fucking gimmick. I call it a gimmick because that's what it is now.
I got a question for you.
And I'll answer it in a second.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to it.
They're stuck in this fucking gimmick of fucking Damian Priest coming out and overshadowing. Everybody thinks Rhea's the star. I disagree.
We'll get to her.
I disagree.
She's a star.
They've made her a secondary, maybe even, I wouldn't even call her secondary anymore.
Have you seen the amount of people online that want to have sex with her?
I do not fucking care.
All right, well, just say you don't care about me.
Wait, with who? With Damian Priest?
I don't get the Rhea thing. I really don't right now. So when they had her.
You see her at the fucking
Damian Priest
awards?
comes out. I think it's a joke. I think this faction is a fucking complete joke.
Do you think the draft will break them up?
No.
Yes.
I think I think they're doing the same thing they did last year.
I think Dom and Rhea will be separated from them.
No. I think the downfall of Judgment Day. I don't know why you're laughing. The downfall of Judgment Day.
Back to why he was laughing.
I'm reading a post that says straight Undertaker acknowledged bisexual.
Who is?
Damian Priest.
Whatever.
Damian Priest, bisexual Undertaker.
Fine. If that's what you want to call him, I don't care.
BSU.
Everybody's
going to BSU for a year.
I'm by Taker.
Look, I'm not saying that I agree with the decision to put the title on him. This made Rhea Ripley look insignificant. Everybody says she's a fucking star. This made her look insignificant, in my opinion. Being in this group makes her look insignificant.
The thing is, she's not insignificant as a wrestler. No. She's insignificant as a champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is my point. I think she's good. I think she's really good. I think she is the future. But what they are fucking doing with her right now is not the fucking answer.
Well.
Go ahead.
This is why you only got 60%.
Go ahead.
Well, it's not like this is Triple H's fault, even though he's had a creative right now. All this was happening before Triple H. The bloodline, the whole Judgment Day. So Triple H is just like cleaning up a bit, tidying up Judgment Day.
What is he cleaning up?
But the popularity is there. This is the thing.
Whatever you don't see fit with Rhea, he's just cleaning it up, shaping it up.
Like what?
But her popularity is higher than ever.
Yeah.
You can get the title off her and fix the title issue, and that'll help women's wrestling. But
we just finished WrestleMania. We just finished WrestleMania.
You can't argue that there's a problem with Rhea Ripley because of how popular she is.
They're stalling.
Yeah.
Stalingrad.
We just finished WrestleMania. I think we should just give it.
They're stalling. That's what they're doing. They're biting.
She should have lost, but she shouldn't have been facing Becky Lynch. She should have lost to somebody else.
No, I mean, that's a tough one because you want to still make like a high grade enough opponent to make a WrestleMania-esque match. So
yeah, but this was like a match of two people that are good women's wrestlers fighting, but that's the only thing that anybody cared about.
Which is why they were the opening match.
It just didn't have that was one of the only matches on the card that didn't have anything behind it.
could have obviously it could definitely have a bigger and better build, especially with those two. Abso-fucking-lutely. And there's a chance they could revisit that in the future where, maybe Rhea's done more and done on her own. Personally, I think, and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint to my fellow SmackDown GMs, because this is an idea that I want to do. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
I think the Judgment Day is going to self-implode and you're going to see a civil war.
I agree.
Yeah, it should have happened
I don't
already.
think the draft is going to have anything to do with it.
Nope, I completely agree with you. I think it's just going to be, I think on one side it's going to be Finn and JD, and the other side will be Damian and Dom. And Rhea will either just split or go of her own accord or have her own thing with Dom in terms of she follows it. Because they've teased the shit out of this several times.
I think they teased it really hard on fucking Monday. I think JD McDonough and Finn Balor are going to break off and become a tag team. And they're going to...
That nobody wants to watch.
Okay. Well, that's you.
I'm not. Who's lining up for JD McDonough?
Finn Balor is going...
I think JD McDonough is a great wrestler.
I do.
Do you want to see him, though?
Yes. With where he's going, I'm looking forward to it because he is a very good in-ring performer. And I think with Finn Balor, because Finn Balor trained him.
Mm-hmm.
Finn Balor, JD McDonough is the future Finn Balor.
Except his head is 7 times the size.
I fucking understand that. And I don't give a shit. Because I don't fucking care how big something
is. It's fine. It's fine. He can get plenty of work as a baseball mascot.
I mean,
it's bobblehead night at the stadium.
I don't care.
That's just regular fucking perspective.
Dominic Mysterio is going to end up redeeming himself at fucking WrestleMania next year. With his dad. And that's how Rey Mysterio is going to walk off into the sunset.
We hope. I'm
hoping. That'd be the perfect ending to fucking Rey Mysterio's career.
Hey, real fast. Sorry. I'm sorry. I just saw this. I know we're talking about WWE stuff, but did you guys just hear what just happened in Japan?
No.
What happened?
I'm in New York.
Do you want me to say it?
Is it tsunami?
What?
Tsunami?
Nope. It has to do with it's wrestling related.
Is it Jungle Jack Perry?
Nope.
Okay.
What?
All right, I'll just spoil it. Ladies and gentlemen, your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
I don't care.
John Moxley.
Good.
Yeah, I heard that.
Serious?
Whoopee.
Yep.
Are you?
Yeah, now you can bleed on.
How the mighty have fallen, and I'm not talking about John Moxley. I'm talking about New Japan Wrestling. My God, what a farce, man! They lost fucking Okada to fucking Tony Pubehead.
We'll get to WWE. We'll get to AEW.
I didn't even know he was still wrestling. I haven't saw him.
Yes, he's still fucking wrestling.
Or and when I say wrestling, it's in quotations.
Very much in quotations.
He's fucking dropping on glass like a dumb cunt.
What? Go ahead, Trex. If you're gonna say something stupid, don't say it. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say he could bleed all over the belts every night for all I care. I don't care.
Fucking, I don't care if John Moxley takes a shit in the fucking middle of Central fucking Park.
What if he takes a shit somewhere else? Would you care then?
I don't care where John Moxley...
I don't care where anyone takes shit.
He looks like a homeless fucking human being. That's what he looks like to me. He looks like Nick Gage fucking just knows how to fucking shave. That's what I think of John Moxley.
Real fast though, to rewind back to Raw real quick. Man, I love me some Drew McIntyre. Drew is really
firing on all cylinders, man.
We'll get to him. We'll get there.
Where are we even?
Well, if you let me fucking run through,
you're talking about John Moxley taking a shit.
I'm actually talking about fucking Damian Priest.
So that's John Moxley taking a shit.
Sure. But what this segment did is it turned into a tag team match. And it was awesome.
With the Invisible Man.
This is why we're still here, because you keep fucking interrupting me. The Awesome Truth.
Well, now you know how it feels.
I do. The Awesome Truth and John Cena defeated the Judgment Day. Now, John Cena coming out, I was expecting it. I called it. It happened. It was. I liked it. This was really good. They're giving flowers to R-Truth. R-Truth, man, this guy is gold. Gold. So another reveal is Roxanne Perez defeated Indy Hartwell. Roxanne Perez just won the NXT title off of
Lyra Valkyria.
She wrestled Indy Hartwell. Candice LeRae is getting involved in this. I like this Candice LeRae. She was really good in NXT at being a heel. I think she's better at being a heel.
I think she's kind of like not 100% great at either. But I don't know. Heel or face, I don't care
about wrestling. I care about the story. I mean, wrestling is part of it for me.
She's better in the ring than she is at the storyline side.
And I'm good with that. She's actually been pretty good doing the whole. She tripped Roxanne Perez, and Indy Hartwell was gonna do her finisher. And she tripped her so that she could and she missed. And she's like, why did you do that? Why did you interrupt me? And I thought it was good. I think
that's when I stopped watching, to be honest.
Sami Zayn was interrupted by Imperium during his return to Raw, and the Imperium was not Gunther. It was Ludwig Kaiser and Vinci.
This is another one of the genius booking moves of having the lackeys be there. Basically, what they did with the Bloodline with Roman not being there.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll just say this. No, I'll just say real fast. The smart thing about that is that having Imperium around is going to push the narrative of like, remember Gunther, so that when he does come back to presumably challenge for the world title, he'll still have that gravitas of importance about him.
Correct.
Yep.
I think he'll be the second competitor for Cody Rhodes. You heard it here.
The tag team.
I think it's going to happen in Germany.
Yep.
It will happen in Germany.
He will lose.
He will lose.
He just took a loss. It's all right.
I don't know.
I could see but then
Gunther being the one to take the belt off Cody, I would not be against that at all.
Taking the belt off Damian Priest would be more likely.
Guys that has a nice longer run with
you can't take the belt off Cody that early, man. When is this fucking Germany show?
September?
August.
Yeah.
It'll be
no.
Yeah.
Oh, you're confused. Oh, hold on. Back up. I think Basement. You're thinking of Clash of the Castle, which is taking place in June. Yeah, no. I'm saying after SummerSlam. No, I could 1,000%.
Oh, yeah, then for sure, yeah. As long as he makes it to SummerSlam with the title, I think everybody will be happy.
I think that's fair.
Gonna be like,
Cody's making it past SummerSlam.
Yeah, because that's his
he
first.
Should make it to WrestleMania personally.
We'll get to Cody Rhodes again here in a little bit. Because he ties into the fucking end of the show. Or to the show of what happened tonight. Sami Zayn and Chad Gable defeated Imperium. I thought it was a good match. Chad Gable, I like where they're going with this. Is building a storyline. Is Chad Gable going to turn on Sami Zayn, or is Sami Zayn going to fucking turn on Chad Gable?
Chad Gable will turn. He needs a heel run.
Yep.
Who does?
Gable.
Chad Gable.
Yes, and I think that's where they're going to go, but they're building to the turn.
Yeah, well, this is what we discussed during the match at WrestleMania, and I'm pretty sure we're all in the same boat. It's like, yep, they're going with that, and thank God, because Sami Zayn's star is pretty high, and it was a big WrestleMania moment. Mm-hmm. This is a good way to get Chad Gable. I mean, he's been going, but this is to get him to where he belongs.
Well, like I said, I'm not gonna lie and say to you that like Sami Zayn obviously was not my first pick in this spot, right. But I will say, I will say that by the time we got to the match itself, in terms of the build and the hype and the way they presented him, I was sold. I'm like, all right, yep, let's do this. Yeah, Do
you feel like Sami Zayn he'll lose the title relatively quick?
And the reason, real quick, the only reason is not because of who Sami Zayn is. It's only because he's already won the belt before.
Yeah. I mean, it's also because he's much better chasing a title as the underdog than he is as having the title as the underdog.
But I do agree with you. I don't think he's going to have a long title reign. In fact,
he'll lose the title before SummerSlam for sure. He might lose it in the next couple pay-per-views.
Are we still talking about Cody or Sammy?
Sammy.
Sammy will probably hold it till summer. I think Sammy and Kevin Owens are going to have a match at WrestleMania.
I mean, do you think they might they might pull the trigger and have, I know this might be a stretch, but on Raw?
Huh?
Do you think Sammy could possibly lose the belt that soon on Raw this Monday?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be like the things with Triple H. He usually plays things out pretty long, even if it's like a small storyline. It's not like I'll give it to you for a week or whatever.
He is strategically placed champion. Placed the belts on the people he's placed the belts on are involved in a storyline. They're involved in multiple storylines, especially Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn. You have who's the champion? Damian Priest is in a storyline. I think he is the transitional champion, to be honest with you.
I think he could be, but as far as the Sami Zayn thing, I could very easily see them using that as a storytelling plot device.
Champion?
Logan Paul.
Strategically placed.
Right. And for the record, I agree with you guys that I don't think making the title switch that soon would be a good idea. But
so Sami Zayn's gonna have a long run with the Intercontinental title. I feel.
I don't think so. I really don't.
I don't think so either. But I don't think so. I'm throwing out the possibility. What if Chad Gable wanted this soon because they could
has a baby face. So when it comes to the Intercontinental Championship, the reason that I asked this,
they're talking about fucking getting
interrupted. The 2 longest runs as champion, as an Intercontinental champion, has been, yes, it's been Gunther, and he deserves it, and I don't disagree with it, and Honky Tonk Man. Sami Zayn, the storyline will be, and I'm not saying Gunther's going to beat Sami Zayn for the title. I think one of his guys is going to be Sami Zayn for the title. Sami Zayn's going to have a long run with the title, and he's going to get really close to winning the fucking record over Gunther per storyline.
Think so?
Yes.
I believe completely the opposite. The more I think about it, I'd actually go with Connor's idea of him losing it at Raw. Honestly, because the draft is coming up, and I think they're going to go with a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn storyline for Mania.
But do you see the beauty of it? Triple H could go 2 ways with this.
Well, this is why it's so interesting. Like, we can sit here and fucking debate about fantasy booking, but I don't think he's going for a long run.
Okay,
Sami Zayn, it doesn't make any sense to me to do a long run after a long run, especially with Sami Zayn's character, where his whole character was winning the title.
Have him fucking hold the title for 628 days. I'm saying have him hold the title for
627 days.
245 days. 279 days. There's nothing wrong.
I mean, it's not impossible. I feel like if I was booking this, I'd be aiming for a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens blow-off at WrestleMania. Yes. It's been long enough so that can actually work. Yes. And with the draft coming up, if they're on separate brands now, which I think they are, they could be on the same brand. But when they draft, they also have to take the title into consideration.
So when we get
they have to take the title into consideration when they draft. Which is why I'm saying he might drop the title on Monday.
This is the way you do a draft if you're going to do something. I really don't like the word draft.
The title holders don't change?
I think they do.
And the belts change with them?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
I mean,
but then it's like then you run into
the deal with Netflix. I think they moved Cody to Raw.
I don't even know who's on what brand right now.
So right now, Cody's on both brands because he doesn't have a challenger. So why not have him bounce back and forth? He'll end up on, and he's going to have something to do. I'm getting there. So Cody Rhodes is having a match at the next pay-per-view.
And my prediction was AJ Styles for the next person he would face.
Man, you called it, man.
Is that what it was, right?
Well, no, I mean they
Is that happening?
SmackDown next week is a WrestleMania rematch between LaKnight and AJ Styles.
Yes, it
Winner
is.
faces Cody at the pay-per-view.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get there. I promise. If you let me.
No, we talked about this prior, and
So
I don't even know if you were there.
That's one of the points of tonight. So Jade Cargill defeated Chelsea Green in the squash match.
Again?
Chelsea Green is entertaining. I think she could possibly be, and I said this to Heather, is she could be the fucking girl version of R-Truth.
Yeah, she's a fun character that can be added in.
And Chelsea Green...
But she can actually wrestle.
Her
she's not bad.
Gimmick in TNA was fucking great.
Yeah, she does have she's better on the mic than she is in the ring.
See, with Chelsea Green, she was involved in that storyline with Rosemary. If everybody remembers Rosemary, everybody talks about Abaddon. Rosemary did Abaddon right. Rosemary is the female version of Undertaker, in my opinion. That woman can tell a fucking story.
Okay, that's Damian Priest, first of all.
What? Whatever.
Asshole.
I'm just saying, Chelsea Green, she's in the perfect, and again tonight, what they did with her is great. But Jade Cargill, I think they're Goldberging her, but Triple H is gonna. She's been working at the Performance Center, so she's been putting in the work. I can't believe that this is the way her career is gonna go.
I don't think that's the way her career is going to go. Actually,
I think they're doing this on purpose.
I'm sorry to keep bouncing around the format a little bit more, but I'll try to just make this quick about Jade Cargill. If anything, I think the way they used her on SmackDown was infinitely better. And if they use that long term, that's a win, which was teaming up with her as a tag team with Bianca Belair. I think that's actually a very smart move.
I think.
Well, that's only to have them fight each other.
Getting there. I'll get there. Trust me. I've got my thoughts. Shawn Michaels. Drew McIntyre gave an irate rant. He's great. He is great.
Yeah. He's finally hit that moment where he's the top tier guy.
Did you hear the comment that Jim Cornette made? Jim Cornette said with the Vince thing, Vince only seen him running out with the sword because he's Scottish. That's all.
Honestly, Vince looked at him and thought the same thing I did. I'm like, oh, he's one of those guys in the front of those romance novels.
Yeah, right.
But he's fucking incredible now.
I died laughing when McIntyre comes out. He's like, cut my music. And right before he talks, you just hear Pat McAfee very quiet. It's like, former world champion.
Pat McAfee is good. I'm glad he's back on Raw because he can. They're allowing.
I'm so happy
because they're just letting people do their thing. Pat McAfee does not need a script. Pat McAfee knows how to fucking talk.
The thing is, where they've put restrictions on people is where restrictions should be. But other than that, it feels so natural for most things, which is great.
Absolutely.
So Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and Bronson Reed in a fatal 4-way match to become #1 contender for World Heavyweight title. So Jey Uso is going to face Damian Priest.
Yeet?
Come on, we got these sounds, guys.
We don't. Do we have Yeet?
No,
we do have Yeet.
I'm kind of retarded. So, our mission is simple. Make them pay.
Great.
Close.
Great. Great. I enjoyed that segment. And this was the main event of Raw. It advances a storyline. Jey Uso, calling him main event Jey Uso. This guy's over. I know where you stand on him. But
I love him.
He's fucking over. He is so fucking over right now.
I'm genuinely shocked, and it's not necessarily a slap against Jay in terms of his ability to do so, but the way he's been booked to get over the way he has, you don't really see anything like this happen much anymore. Especially like, yeah, you've seen tag teams split up and like one person ascends to like, heights more than the other person, but never a twin brother tag team.
But it's also like usually in tag teams, there's that one guy that people are like, that's the guy. Edge, Jeff Hardy, right? Like it's clear cut, but like when it comes to twins, it's like, I don't know. I think most of us knew that he was kind of the better one to an extent. The other guy is kind of like only... They're fucking twins, but there's definitely a better twin.
Yeah, Jay was always the one who was more smooth in the ring.
I'll be right back.
He was also more serious about the business, I think, in the end.
He's better. He's a better performer, I think, in terms of like his acting ability and whatnot too. Like he's better to like emote and can hit certain
I do feel
inflections.
it's a hard sell. I feel like the twin thing is a huge benefit for a tag team and a problem for singles talent.
Yes.
It makes it that much harder to get over as a singles talent. He's gotten over, but I think he's gotten over completely off of the hype built off of the bloodline. He's a product of where he came from. Yes, he used it to the best of his ability, and I still think he can have a solid singles run, but I have concerns. I feel like you put a title on him after like a couple months,
I don't think
it ain't gonna be good.
If he does win,
he's gonna be fucking brought back into the bloodline storyline. That's where we know 100%.
He is, and we'll get to it.
Wait.
He's like one of those bosses that we'll put that in the parking lot. We'll get to it later, and then it's like parking lot's full, bitch.
No, everything that you're talking about happened tonight. Trust me.
Yeah.
So Jey Uso, man, even if he does win, he's only going to hold the title for probably a month. Remember when Randy Orton had his title reign?
Yeah,
his very first one. That's where I think his title reign's going.
He's purely a transitional champ just to give him that accolade.
Not because he isn't ready. They're just giving him here, dude. The storyline that you've given us. Here is your recognition for doing such a great job at what you were doing. I think it's going to be a month run. He's going to lose his pay-per-view.
I think you're talking about Damian Priest, right?
No, I'm talking Jey Uso.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, I was gonna say because I think Damian Priest is gonna go a little longer than that.
Yes.
I could see them doing a 1 month with Jay as the champion. Yes, I could definitely see them doing that as a field test.
I don't think his title reign is going to last. He's going to be involved in this storyline to where he wins it, but then, I mean, Jesus Christ, storytelling is 100% reason why Triple H is doing it, and it's all going to culminate in the Bloodline story. I don't think people understand the gravity of Roman losing the title just created more storylines, man. You'll see. We'll get into it. I'm telling you, it just blows my fucking mind what Triple H has done in less than a fucking... Well, since Vince fucking finally left. Because Vince still was running things for... he's like, I'm going to throw my 10 cents in here and it's going to be worth more than billions is the way Vince was doing it, right? He's going to say, I'm going to get my 2 cents. He takes 10. My point is, I honestly think that this is where Triple H is going, and this is how Triple H, he's ending the story, but he's going to end it in a way that it should be ended. Yeah, that's what I think.
The good thing is, like, Vince, for all of his faults, he had, most of the time he had the right ideas and structure until it came to, executing, and his brain was like, fuck that shit.
100%. I'm not going to lie to you. And Cody gets his flowers. I'm going to use the word lineage. That's the word for the night, everybody. Lineage. Lineage.
Lineage.
So, and we'll get to it, but Jey Uso is great. I think he's great for what he's doing.
I just don't agree with flip flopping the title.
It's not really flip flopping.
Well, David Priest just got it.
Okay, I didn't say he was gonna hold it for fucking a day. I'm not saying it's gonna happen soon.
Well, the problem is,
He's already a number one contender, right?
He's going to be sucked back into the bloodline plot before SummerSlam.
No, it'll be WrestleMania.
No, I'm saying like the fact that you want him to. Okay, so we're talking about Jey Uso, right?
Yeah.
Winning the championship. It has to happen soon before he gets sucked back into the bloodline plot.
Yeah, because he ain't going to see championship anytime soon.
So something's going to happen at this pay-per-view. And
I don't think Jey Uso is going to win a championship this year at all.
I'm done with the fucking long 6-month, 850-day reigns. Done. I'm done with them.
We don't need that.
If it advances the storyline, I don't think anybody. Stone Cold only held the title. He held the title like 7 times. I don't think he held it for more than 5 months at any time, ever.
Yeah, but Damian Priest just got the title.
And I get that. Stone Cold got it and lost it 2 months later.
That's fine.
That's what we're saying. It'll be a few months down the line for Damian Priest.
Losing it at this pay-per-view.
He might if Finn Balor costs him the loss.
See? That's my point. But it's not going to happen here. It's going to happen at the next pay. Might happen at Money in the Bank. We have to remember, there's a big pay-per-view. Like, they're going to France?
Yeah.
Something's happening
in
France.
Okay, look. What I'm saying is, if Jey Uso, because they already made Jey Uso number one contender, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. If they don't pull the trigger on him winning the championship,
then
he is never going to win the championship because what just happened to Jimmy on SmackDown, that's going to send a signal to Jey Uso.
Storytelling, Ray Sean.
Yeah, but how long are you going to keep Jey away from that?
We already know that. I'm 100% with that. I'm talking Damian Priest can get the fucking title back.
I'd rather Jey Uso have the title than Damian Priest.
I agree.
Personally,
it's
Damian Priest is. What are we getting into that, really? To be honest, I'd be okay with them. I'd be okay with them flipping that title due to Finn Balor issue at this PLE. Because it's far past the point where those fuckers should break up.
I think Damian Priest is gonna lose. I mean, what says he can't get that opportunity back?
By the way, just a quick little side note that I want to throw out here before I forget because I'm getting really, really baked. The draft happens, I believe, about a week or week and a half before Backlash.
Yes.
Before Backlash.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd like to see.
They advertised it tonight. Whether Kevin Owens ends up on Raw, it's unpredictability.
Yes.
I'm not saying Cody's not losing the title for a while.
I mean, the storyline that is honestly the storyline I'd probably tell is Jey Uso gets the championship due to Judgment Day falling apart, and then Jimmy comes after being betrayed, comes looking for his brother. And, like, there's a while there where he's trying to get back into good graces with his brother. And I'd have, like, shit build up off of that, where eventually, like, he tries everything to help his brother retain the title, but he still loses, and they rejoin, and then they go back to Bloodline.
That's what?
Just wait. We'll get there. All right.
I'm just wondering, like, how else you do it, because he got betrayed by Bloodline. Right. Where else is he going to go?
You keep saying Bloodline. We'll get there.
I have a theory that I'll save to the end.
So SmackDown or NXT happened. NXT is actually a really good show. I'm gonna run through it because there's really only one thing that we need. But on a weekly show, NXT is really good again. Kiana James and Izzy Dame defeated Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan. I didn't really watch that match, but I knew it happened. I was watching a baseball game at the same time.
My inner Laurinaitis came out.
Sorry, it did. Something got caught in my throat, motherfucker. Goddamn.
People power did.
Something got caught in my throat. That's why I did what I did. But Kiana James and Izzy
I'll get caught in your throat.
Oh my god. Kiana James and Izzy Dame defeated Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan. Javon Evans. There's news about him, but I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to get into the negativity. Javon Evans defeated Scripps. It's something else we can talk about. Javon Evans, he's 19 years old. And I just apparently there's a video out. I seen it today that this guy, because he looked at the cameraman, he's 19 fucking years old and he's in NXT, and he looked at the camera guy and he's, oh yeah, okay, I'll wrap it up. If you haven't seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's something we can talk about on Sunday. But that right there was pretty shitty. I didn't see that, but this match I didn't see it because I was watching a Brewer game. NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez defeated Natalya. Heather and I had this conversation, and I'm going to say this real quick. Everybody that shits on Natalya is a fucking idiot. In fact, Rayshawn, you were involved in that conversation.
Yeah. Yes, I was.
Natalya, I get Natalya gets shit on. However, I will say she is one of the best women's wrestlers on the roster. She can work.
She's just boring.
And I can 100% agree with you. And this,
I'm not going to disagree that she can work and that she's actually somebody that should end up in the NXT training center.
I want people,
but my
especially
God,
fans of Bret
But she's
Hart.
Canadian, okay?
Okay, I'm getting there. Because I said this to Heather. It's about you, Basement.
We're talking about
people that are Bret Fart fans. Bret Hart fans are Bret Hart fans, and you know what? Bret Hart, he's a great in-ring worker. Can we stop? I'm really trying to tell a story here. Bret Hart was a great in-ring worker. However, his character sucked, in my opinion, and Natalya is the Bret Hart version of
2.0.
Yeah.
I like her. I know what you're saying. Like Bret Hart is,
but
was
I don't
boring.
I don't want Canadians to be mad at me because.
Well, I'm always mad at you. Perpetually.
I just think Natalya. I'm sorry, I had to do that. So, Natalya, I think her work, and there's a reason why they put the title on her and shit. Heather, you were there for the conversation. You can add to this because this is a women's match. Because I try and include her, but I keep interrupting her, and she needs her. Focus.
Her.
This one.
Everybody.
I'm sorry. Am I overpowering the show?
Yes.
I also interrupt everybody, so I'm just like you.
Yeah, we kind of fit. We all kind of fit together.
Go ahead.
In that
Cheers, JP.
But yeah, they really want to build up Jade. They need to have her working with Natalya because Natalya will get her to that point of getting the extreme basics and a little extra.
I agree.
You talking about Cargo? Jade Cargo? Oh, okay.
Natalya's a better heel anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is with Natalya, and I felt this way with Bret Hart, they are like mat wrestlers. They are slow and methodical. Mm-hmm. They are, like Heather said, they're a great starting point for wrestlers, and then you build your actual ability off of that. Agreed. But they are like watching generic wrestling 101, which is why they're perfect for like training other talent. I think Jade might have some of that down pat. The problem is she's so fucking... Everything I've seen from her so far has done nothing for me. She stands there and muscle poses. That
is the problem. With somebody like Jade, you see her come in, powerhouse her way through by doing poses of, a fucking big boot to the face and then a power slam of some sort.
That was her match against Chelsea Green.
She's so far away from having a character that is actually her.
Yeah.
Like you look at Becky Lynch, you look at you even need to look at Liv Morgan. Yeah. You can look at a bunch of these characters and they've embodied the character they are. She looks like she's trying to fit a glove that doesn't fit her hands
Yes.
with the role that she's trying to play. She needs to actually create a character, and it doesn't need to be this fucking muscle fucking Miss Olympia or whatever.
No.
She needs to just find a character that works for her personality. Forget about her looks. Her looks will be imposing afterwards.
What I've seen from her, like from the aspect from tonight, and I'll give an example. Her and Bianca Belair were dancing around the ring. I do not mind her acting like that. She was
herself needs to come out, and I didn't see it at WrestleMania.
She's trying to do that, but it's really hard. Right now, it's really hard. I think WWE's working.
She kind of has the Roman Reigns syndrome of
she needs to
you're trying to fit a square peg in a circle hole. They need to get it right.
What I have seen the last week with the last couple of weeks with then I'll say 6 months with WWE is they'll get there. It's gonna take some time. Yeah. She's gonna get that initial run, but she could turn into one of those that we might actually pull the fucking trigger on this fucking.
I think the worst thing you could have done with her, and I'm kind of seeing it, is going with like the bodybuilding route. Yes, she's got a bodybuilding body. She needs fluidity. She needs to be able to move. You need to almost train her to do the exact opposite of what people have relied on her to do, and then you'd probably end up with someone that can kind of do more of just regular. Because nobody wants to see Goldberg 2.0. When nobody really.
I agree.
There's no one out there that wants to see it.
I agree. Jada Parker. So
you missed one.
I did miss one. The family. What's his name? Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo. I'm sorry. So I'm trying to catch up on this because NXT's been really good. So I'm trying to catch the names. Tony D'Angelo plays a really good mob boss, and I think he could be good down the road. But the family, they beat No Catch Quarter Crew. This is also No Quarter Catch Crew, which involves William Regal's son, Charlie Dempsey. So they're doing the, what do you call it? The Freebird rule with the fucking Heritage Cup is what they're doing. And I like it. It's pretty entertaining. So that match happened. Jada Parker defeated Brindley Reese. I didn't really watch this one. This didn't really intrigue me. Axiom and Nathan Frazier defeated Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin to win the tag team titles. This I knew was going to happen, so this tells you what they're doing. Braun Breaker showed up on SmackDown tonight. He is now on SmackDown. They're probably going to incorporate...
Is Baron Corbin going back up to the fucking Raw and SmackDown?
I think he's going to get drafted to wherever Braun Breaker is, and they're going to have a feud because they were just tag team champions. They're going to end up having a feud. Shawn Michaels. The Shawn Michaels effect. But let's do it in a different way. Let's have two heels turn on each other. Not two baby faces turn heel. One turns face, one turns heel.
I'm really interested to see how they handle Braun Breaker on the main roster and how they're going to
they're going to incorporate Baron Corbin. They're going to build it from there. I think Braun Breaker, he can talk. He's better than his uncle, and he's better than his dad.
Nobody's better than Scott Steiner, first of all.
I think he's the one to take the belt off Logan Paul.
He could be.
That would be good. That would be a match I'd like to see.
That's probably when they'll do it, but he'll come in as a babyface.
Yeah, he will.
Oh, boy.
Or at least like a badass babyface type idea.
So we'll see. We'll see. But
I'll have him as a tweener.
He's now on the main roster. I didn't actually get to watch a match because there was something going on in a baseball game that I was watching.
Oh yeah, bench cleared.
Bench cleared during
the Brewer game here.
So AEW. Let's talk about this real quick.
Oh Lord.
I'm just there's two things that happened on this show that I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. They didn't do it once. They said, fuck it. We're going to do it fucking twice on this fucking show. So, the only really thing, matches, as far as matches go, an AEW World Title Eliminator match, Samoa Joe took on Dustin Rhodes. Samoa Joe won. Cody Rhodes
I wonder
He's
why
his
Dustin
brother.
Rhodes was in the main event.
He wasn't in the main event. That was the first fucking match.
Or in the first match.
Are you talking about Cody Rhodes or Dustin Rhodes?
Dustin.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying the
wasn't
only
main
reason
event.
Dustin Rhodes
That
was there
that was
is because Cody Rhodes hyped from WrestleMania.
Yep, he's.
I can tell you that right now. They're cashing in on others' success, and then they're going to be like, you know what? Thank you, and let me spit on your face.
Yes.
Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. Renee Paquette was backstage outside with Orange Cassidy's locker room. Don't know. I was doing something with Ray Sean at the time, which we're debuting on my
what
channel
were you
here in a couple of weeks. It's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited about it.
Gay sex.
Kind of.
The TNT Championship match, the Rated R Superstar. This is how they fucking put shit out there. This is AEW's website that I'm reading this off of. The Rated R Superstar Adam Copeland, which that's his name now.
I thought they couldn't use the Rated R Superstar because I thought that was...
Okay, so I haven't watched AEW. The only things I've seen are on Twitter. Edge. And the only thing I've seen from Edge for a while is his desperate attempt to say, "We're good in the back."
Yeah.
So yeah,
I haven't seen anything else.
This man. That was last week. It gets better. So Penta El Zero Meadow was in that match with Rated R Superstar, and of course Edge won. These are dream matches that Edge was talking about the previous week, is what he was saying. Hey, I'm gonna do dumb fuckery for the rest of my career because I'm having.
Remember
fun.
when I wasn't 52?
Yeah.
Renee Paquette was backstage with the Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe. They gave him his flowers. Because and there's a reason why he did it. I hate to say it. I like Mark Briscoe. They only put the Ring of Honor World title on him.
Because he lost his brother.
Because his brother died.
Are
you kidding me?
His brother was better.
But why didn't you put the fucking... when you had the chance, you could have fucking done it at fucking the pay-per-view. Had him take it off of MJF. It would have been a great moment. In a moment that needed wrestling fans of AEW, I think Briscoe, they could have capitalized on something. And had him run with it for a couple of months. But
I think Briscoe is a step away from retirement because there is literally nothing he can do without his brother. He is the Jimmy Uso.
So yes. I would like to get what Connor thinks about this. I'm sorry. And then Trek.
Which part?
So Mark Briscoe, I didn't know this because I seen this because I was watching AEW. Mark Briscoe's Ring of Honor World Champion.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. That's fine. But why didn't they pull the trigger on him a few months ago? And I get.
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I think
kind of
they
situation.
should have.
I mean, I think it's kind of
honestly, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I disagree. I think they should have.
Didn't his brother die like over a year ago?
Damned if they didn't, or did. Damned if they did. That's what it turned out to be. They should have.
The point I'm making is that I agree with you in terms of the timing of everything. And yeah, Rayshon, it's been I think it's been almost a full year, but it does seem a little half-assed. It's you know what it reminds me a lot of, honest to God, and it's not a knock on his ability either, nor is it a knock on Mark's ability per se, but kind of to Basement's point, it's like I'm not clamoring over a Mark Briscoe match, no disrespect, but obviously they were they were the team. That being said, this echoes a lot of Mysterio's win of the world title at WrestleMania. Like a lot of the similar vibes and feeling of it, where is it deserved? Yes. Is it earned? Yes. Is it warranted? Yes. Is it like, it's a mixture of all these things at the same time. And it's just kind of like, not that it's not a feel good moment, but it's almost it's a little hollow because you know why it's being done.
But I think it's a moment, and I get what you're saying.
A little bit hollow. A little bit.
I think it's a little bit hollow, but
I promise. What do you do with the person afterwards? You just move the belt from them, like.
Yeah, well, they moved the belt.
Do with Ray? Get Chavo Guerrero.
So the Young Bucks and Nicholas Jackson, Matthew Jackson, were backstage in the dressing room, sitting there. And they got serious for a minute. I mean, these motherfuckers were trying to sell this. But the whole thing is they were blaming FTR for what happened at All In. And that's where they're building this match to. We've all seen the footage. I think we've...
When was All In?
8 months ago.
Ooh, okay, so they're late to the party.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they are very late to the party. They're just being cowards now.
Or the NDA cleared.
It's just a fucking mess. That whole fucking place is a mess. Honestly,
I think
you might love AEW, but you can't be so blind that you don't see how they're going. And this is like really this AEW this week for AEW has been horrible. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I think it's like the worst that they've been. I'm not talking about wrestling, just like direction. The direction is horrible.
Well, it's not just this week.
And I don't even think like half the people that are working there want this shit to happen.
No, they don't. And it's not even just this week. It's also last week because they went back to a building that they had been in before and pulled in half the ticket sales that they did from the
I'm not even. So I don't need to look at ticket sales to know that just the snippets, things I see in the direction is horrible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They could sell out. And I'm like, this is a bad idea, and that is a bad idea.
Yep.
Hyping up fucking scenes from something that happened eons ago, basically. Yep. I mean, everybody wants to look at wrestling fans and say they have the minds of goldfish.
I'd like to honestly.
Why are you pulling?
I'd like to honestly get, and this is one of those things. I'd like to honestly get everybody's honest opinions on how you feel about what NXT did. I think Basement pretty much summed it up for him.
AEW, you mean?
AEW, you mean?
No, this segment.
You said NXT.
Well, I meant AEW.
There you go.
I feared for my life.
I already know. I mean, you are 100%. I fear for mine too, but I fear for mine. 5 years ago when I started watching wrestling. Jesus fucking Christ, I got angry.
I just can't believe that was the altercation. This is like every fucking Friday at a club.
Yes.
Altercation. It is like, and Tony's like, I've been in professional. I have feared for my life. Fucking pube head.
So
and that video showed everything that Punk said on that fucking podcast was word for word true.
I would. So I'm actually gonna. So I'd like to. Are you done, Basement? Are you done? Are you done?
It's embarrassing. It's horrible for AEW. It does nothing for the company. I'm done.
Okay, gotcha. That's great. Rayshawn, what do you think? So I like to get everybody's thoughts. Rayshawn, what do you think? Did you see the segment?
I saw the YouTube. I saw it from YouTube, and I think they killed the dying company.
I don't think they're dying. They're going to be as around as long as what CM Punk said. They're going to be
it's
around.
Trash. It's garbage. That's it.
I get you. It is garbage.
It'll still be around. It'll just be on late night television.
Well, no. I think as long as Tony Khan is allowed to shovel money into the company, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
It's going to turn into ROH. It'll be a combination of the two companies.
At some point,
my question is: at what point do the other wrestlers turn away from the company?
They won't.
The core of them won't, but the ones
when they stop getting paid,
the ones that started coming in after the honeymoon.
100% what Basement just fucking said.
Yes, Connor.
Basement. I was gonna say you combine AEW and ROH into AREU watching.
What the fuck?
That's great.
Just call it DONT. Watch.
Are you good, Rayshawn, or do you have?
Yeah, I'm good.
Trek, what do you think?
Yep.
Go ahead, man. Let's hear you. I want to hear you. Say something.
Shut the fuck up, then.
Go ahead.
He's hype him up.
I want to hear you. You didn't say anything.
Go ahead, man. The floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead.
Moving on. Trek!
I think his mic is muted.
Trek, what do you think? Tell me.
The CM Punk's
anything.
backstage footage.
Yes. What do you think of it?
Fire.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, you said nothing.
Say something! Man.
Because I'm looking. What am I supposed to be looking for?
Nothing. Oh. I just asked you a question.
We're talking.
Did you see the segment with the Cody Rhodes? We've seen all the segment. The segment with the Young Bucks backstage. Did you watch AEW? Did you see AEW?
Backstage with CM.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think about what happened?
I thought it was garbage. I think Trey Khan's a little bitter old bitch.
Okay. I think everybody said that. But tell me, what do you really think? I want to know what you really, honestly, truly think.
I think that's stupid, and he waited, 6 months, 8 months since the thing. He's doing it now because of what CM Punk said on McAfee or wherever it was. Like, now he's funny, he's being a bitter old bitch.
Okay. It's like CM Punk told you what the video was before the video got leaked.
He did, and that's my point. My point is that's exactly what he did.
Tell me one thing that this did for AEW.
Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
After that video fucking played, there were CM Punk chants in the audience.
Do you have anything else to add, Heather? Or?
No, because you're going to cut me off anyway.
No,
Uh-huh.
Are you good? Are you good, Trek, or do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Good.
It's just, we all said it the week before when they announced that they were going to do this, that it was a bad look on the company. Not a bad look on CM Punk, because you know what? You just got your own audience to chant for some guy who's now working in a different company that's doing a shit ton better than your dumbass.
Yep.
And I feel bad for Tony Schiavone for having to put up with this shit.
Oh my god.
Because this is now the second time he's had to deal with this shit.
Well, it's not only...
he signed up.
So, you are 100% correct. I don't think he signed up for this, though. And I see the look on Tony Schiavone's face says it all. If you've seen the videos, he's like, dude, this is almost WCW level bullshit.
Well, that's going to be the next podcast he does with Conrad.
I really am intrigued to hear what he has to fucking say. Because how in the fuck can this be? And I'm going to get Connor's thoughts on this. And then we'll move on real quick. I honestly think Tony Schiavone is like, are we really fucking doing this shit again? That's how I think that's the look on Tony Schiavone's face. I really fucking do.
It's either that or I'm really living through the fucking finger poke of doom for a fucking second time.
But this is worse.
Yes.
And for the finger poke of doom is the champions. Oh, there is no champion. This is the only version of it.
Yeah.
This is another version of the finger poke of doom, now that you think about it. But I'm going to... Connor, please. I know, man. I really want to hear what you have to say about this.
All right. So the first things that I want to just kind of get out there first and foremost before I go into this, hopefully not too long tirade, is people are like, Tony's bitter and it's very unbecoming and unprofessional. It is 1,000%. But don't think that he's the only person who's ever pulled this type of bullshit before. If you think back to like the stuff that TNA has done, the shit that Vince has done. I'm not saying that like Tony's stuff was the worst thing ever. I'm just saying that like he's not the only person to be a fucking petulant, crybaby or immature about this in this position. That being said, push that out of the way for a second. Mm-hmm. To Basement's point, it was really just the idea of what the fuck is the good that comes out of this? What positive benefit, other than proving that CM Punk was correct, which, again, why would Punk have any reason to lie at this point in time? I don't get like this was so fucking hollow. It was transparent. I guess the worst part of it is that pissed me off the most about the whole thing was that they and bear with me on this. I am very baked.
It's fine.
The part that infuriated me creatively was that they essentially had to like find a bullshit excuse of how to air it and tie it into a storyline. So you had to build a promo around it. FDR's promo, I fucking 1000% agree with. And while I do at least give him some sort of semblance of credit for trying to make it work in the midst of a storyline, it's a very, and I do mean very small sliver of credit. This should not have happened. This should not have aired. This makes Tony Khan and AEW, in my opinion, look just another giant step back to another just indie promotion that happens to have TV and a fucking billionaire backing them.
Yeah,
a guy playing promoter.
Can I say this? I think WWE's on a level that how do I say this? AEW is doing this for a ratings pop. Whereas WWE used to do the same thing, but they did.
You know what it is?
For a segment, they did a ratings pop.
You know what it is, in my opinion? It's that AEW is slowly becoming, in my opinion, AEW is the equivalent of like a very well-known but moderately successful mom and pop sub shop. Yes. And WWE is fucking McDonald's.
Oh, I mean, this is the only thing. The other things I would say, like, oh, they're taking a jab at WWE. This is the only thing that reeked of desperation. The Edge promo, and then what happens with Will Ospreay. This to me is like, this is where I see desperation instead of, oh, we're going to compete with you and we're going to trade, or we're just going to take jabs at you. It's so weird to me, and I'd love for somebody that has watched all of AEW and analyze AEW and WWE and be like, yeah, it's equal, jabs for jabs. Because AEW's inception was taking jabs at WWE to begin with.
Correct.
The problem is they have dwindling audience, they have a dwindling fan base, and you aren't going to recover it anymore from taking jabs at a company you're not going to fucking match.
No.
Live in the ecosystem. Stop trying to kill the fucking biggest predator.
Right?
Just live in that same fucking world.
Yeah.
They could be huge. AEW could have been as big as WWE.
Yes.
But they made all the wrong fucking decisions along the way.
So far. I think you likened it, and I will say this. I think you said it to the fact that they're trying to do 50 years of WWE in like 3 years.
So
yeah, they fast-tracked everything. Sorry, Connor, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, like, this is the best way I can kind of describe it. Or I shouldn't say best way, but this is another way that I kind of look at it in this case. A lot of us are very happy with WWE right now and the way that they're producing things and the way they're doing things right now because, A, WWE is I think next to New Japan, the longest running promotion right now with its lineage and history and all that stuff. And it's got the right.
Everybody.
It's like the XFL coming after the NFL, and all they do is take shots at the NFL.
What I was gonna say was like WWE is like getting its shit together. It's getting on track, and it's like stepping into, in my opinion, like a new the fucking Renaissance era. It's gonna be streamlined more, and I think it's gonna reach new heights. And it's like, man, the fucking future is so exciting. And WWE seems to be like this pinnacle thing. And AEW just pulled a move that made us once again go like, "You're a wrestling fan."
Well, I see like both companies working towards opposite ends. WWE wants to be super successful and be the like best wrestling company. AEW, for all of their money and all of their talent, they want to be the company performing in fucking high schools and bingo halls. That's what they want. That's where they that's the attitude that they want. And they keep doing these stupid.
Yes, and I agree. The AEW is fast tracking to where WWE is today, and WWE
is fast tracking to bankruptcy.
Yes, but
that's what they're fast tracking.
My point is WWE is still getting fucking decades apart from them because they're stuck in this ECW/WCW/WWE fucking shit. That's the problem. They're trying to catch up, but they can't catch up because WWE just took it to a whole nother level.
They shouldn't be trying to fucking catch up. They will never catch up.
And I get you.
They need to. The thing is, I honestly think there was a time where they probably could have. With Vince McMahon kind of fucking slowly killing WWE at that time. And AEW being, but like, if they had competent people in charge, and if they could limit what they did to be like, oh, we're not going to show you fucking Extreme Rules, death matches, exploding matches every second. I mean, you only can go. Did they look at ECW? There was a shelf life. You're not going to do that forever because eventually people will be like, well, what's next? Are they just going to kill someone on live TV? Enter New Jack.
So no, my point. The only thing I was going to say was in terms of like, what metric are you measuring it against? Because I don't think AEW could ever have gotten could they've gotten close in some areas of
if they went more into social media, I think they would have been potentially more successful.
WWE's already fucking done that.
Well, WWE is doing here's what we do on our cable TV shows again. If they went fully as like a YouTube brand, we talked about this, Connor. If they went down that route.
Yeah, this is the same shit TNA were trying to fucking bullshit in terms of
they'd have to be like they'd have to revolutionize the industry at the same time as having a very good show.
But I think WWE has gone to that fucking level already. They do that Speed, WWE Speed. I fucking love that show.
I'm wondering how long.
It's WWE's version of TikTok. Hey, we're gonna have a quick match. I'm telling you.
It gives me Quibi vibes.
No, I like. It's like I don't know how long.
I heard you, and I hate
you. But anyway, we'll get to the. I just YouTube and social media. That's where they're going.
I just don't think that that AEW would be able to beat WWE in any sort of metric long term. I'm not saying they couldn't beat them here and there sporadically, but even with Vince fucking things up at that point in time when the company was being built, because you have to remember though, Basement, even though Vince was maybe tanking creative and stuff like that, numbers were still generally going up.
The problem is AEW can beat WWE on its worst day, which is that's my goal at the end. Yes.
Right,
but I'm saying, in a theoretical world, when they didn't do what they did with AEW, they could have had there was a possibility there for them being at least a competing company in some way. So I think at best case they're WCW. At realistically they're ECW.
I'll peel back a little bit of a curtain. Something I haven't shared this publicly yet. But I've actually been working with a partner.
Traitor. What a fucking traitor.
All right, well, I'm out. Fuck, how do I get locked out of everything? To start a wrestling promotion up here in New England. Right. We've been working on getting the copyrights down. I won't say the name of it because it's still patent pending right now, but we are getting the trademark copyrights on all the major areas, and we're going to stick primarily in New England and Northeast area only. But the idea is that when he came to me, this oh man, we could be as big as WB. I said, no.
Think small first.
No, just think small in general. You don't have to fucking think big. Just keep.
That's what I tell all the women I get with.
Yeah, you are such a douchebag. No, and I go ahead, Connor. But I think I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say the long and short of it is that basically. He wanted to go. He wanted to go let's go national. I'm like, no. I said, you don't need to. There's no need for you to go national because we can just keep things on a regional level, and there's more than enough here, especially in this area, that we can, eventually, and then we do a slow growth over time. But I mean, especially nowadays with the way that social media, to JP's point, is you can still make a pretty pretty strong run. That's the word. Just doing something regional.
Unless you have a billionaire backing you, I don't know how you would ever go national.
No, I mean I already have a business plan, like a written business plan typed up and ready to go. We're gonna make an LLC. Like we've already got like some stuff. Like it's just bare bones infrastructure right now. Nothing crazy yet.
Right.
When you're looking for your champion, don't forget about me.
You're gonna be the very.
So I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. So
here is your first intergender women's champion.
Me versus me.
It made no sense.
All right, so FTR, then Cash, that basement.
It's they versus them.
FTR came out to the ring and said they're done with this bullshit. I honestly think they're going to end up back in WWE. Personally.
Oh, I really fucking.
I saw this thing where they're like, if you're against wrestling, you're against the way we make money or something. Like, what the fuck were they talking about?
I don't know. But they were done.
If you're against what we're doing here, you're against the way I make money.
That's not what they said though.
They said something
back in the past.
Stupid.
Because
I thought it was
AEW. I'm sorry. FTR just wants to exist in wrestling world. I think.
I'm pretty sure that's every talent.
I'm okay with it. I actually like FTR. I think they're boring and in the ring, but I enjoy some of the things that they do.
I think actually there are. Honestly, I feel like a Renaissance era is a good idea. But yeah, like on this world, the only thing I think of is NXT tag team division, and I think that's where we're going back with the WWE main roster.
Yes.
Look at the tag teams that they've created. A bunch of extremely good workers, different styles, different talents, and if they get to the point where FTR was, where they would actually use the rules within tag team wrestling to get the upper hand, I loved it. Honestly, I hope they get back there, but I can see them going to WWE.
So, Basement already referenced it, but the Renee Paquette, and I'm going to preference this by saying Triple H came out, he was asked a fucking question, and he said, if you don't want to do the grind, WWE's not for you. Everybody has a different interpretation of the grind. I think Will Ospreay took it as a shot.
It's so weird because I listened to that. It had nothing to do with him.
No, it had everything to do with what Triple H said. If you want to be a part of WWE, I think a lot of the wrestlers that are wrestling with AEW right now, and Will Ospreay is included with them, and fuck it, I'm just gonna say Kazuchika Okada.
I think it was referencing Okada more than anybody.
Well, that too, based on how many days a week these fucking guys work. And then they jump on a fucking plane. Will Ospreay is an idiot. I'm just going to say it now. I think he's a great in-ring talent, but I think he's personally a fucking idiot. Why would you come out? And I get why you come out, because you're defending the company that you wrestle for now.
He was told to say this.
And I think he was. This is Tony Khan.
No, he said so. He said he was told to say it.
This blows my fucking mind.
No, I thought it was what he wanted to say, and then they agreed with it.
Yeah, they aren't going to say no because I don't want to lose you to WWE. I'm trying to catch up. This is Tony Khan saying we're trying to catch up to WWE.
So,
without
Connor, you know for a
everybody
fact
that WWE wants to catch, or they want to catch up to WWE.
He was told to cut that promo by AEW.
Yes, he was.
Against Triple H.
Because they feel they have to defend themselves for no fucking reason. Who cares?
I was there. I was there. No, fuck. Okay, no, but I mean, as much knowledge as one has in this fucking crazy world. Yes, I read through an unnamed source. No, I legitimately saw somewhere that he had mentioned in an interview that he was told to say that was not.
It's weird because I heard that he was saying like what he wanted, and it was approved for him to say that. I think I would side more on that point than Tony Khan going that way.
I could be completely wrong.
I think he had a conversation with Triple H about signing, and this is why he's so butthurt, because what was said in that conversation and what they alluded to was kind of what he said in that that podcast or whatever it was, where he's like, the way I look at it is, you cut your fucking. You did whatever you want. You cut your, I don't know what the term is anymore, but you made your name on the indies. You made your name at New Japan. You made your name in all these other companies. Doesn't mean your name means shit in WWE. We know this because we've seen it 1,000 times. Right. So it's like you're not going to come to WWE and just be showing up at PLEs because of that name.
I was mistaken. I don't know where the fuck I read that. I just double checked some other areas, and yeah, you are correct, Basement. So I don't know where the fuck I read that one. So my bad.
That's okay.
That's fine. But like, the idea is you're not going to get treatment that's outside of somebody entering the company for the first time. We know you have a history, and they'll probably treat that with respect. Look at AJ Styles. He had to come in. He didn't have to go to NXT, but they still put him through the rows. He was wrestling all the fucking time. How is that going to be any different? You don't automatically join WWE because you're Will Ospreay and only show up at PLEs and get a championship or something. And I think that's what he was alluding to more. It's like your indie notoriety doesn't automatically make you a fucking world champion in WWE. You still have to learn how we do it, and you're treated like a new employee, which you are.
Yes.
We don't trust the way New Japan does it. We don't trust the way AEW does it. Or else they do it as good as we do. So go through the fucking ropes.
And that's my point. But Trek, I would have loved to have gotten your thoughts on this. But I think Basement said everything.
Yeah, he said it all.
Trek, what do you think?
These nuts.
I can't speak. I can't speak that. I can't speak, or he'll tell me to shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Track. I'll move on. Rayshawn.
These indie stars or whatever the case may be.
Well, Will Ospreay is not an indie star. He is pretty good.
He's a world star for the most part.
He's behaving like the Young Bucks right now. But anyway. He's not an indie star. He's a very well-known wrestler. But go ahead.
Well, I don't care. It's not AJ. Like you said, AJ Styles was well-known as well, but he didn't come into.
They did the same.
I'm going to say this real quick. I'm going to be honest with you. AJ Styles was probably about as big as Will Ospreay was when he first got to WWE. Everybody knows who Will Ospreay is. It's how you build him. And Basement said it. He wrestled every fucking day. He just didn't come in once a week, fly home to fucking England and say, hey, it's me. I'm over. AJ put himself over, I think is what Basement was getting at. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. I was just saying that AJ didn't come to WWE given his resume and say, I deserve to be at this position in the company, or I deserve less nights or whatever. He came in, grinded, and did what he needed to do to earn whatever is handed to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand like why go on your own show and still think about another show. I don't understand that.
I'm with you.
You shitting where you sleep at.
Correct.
The problem is the reaction to not being signed is it's not the Alberto Del Rio, a big nose motherfucker. It's not the fucking Will Ospreay. Oh, you're only popular because you say Triple H. Just shut the fuck up, man. Honestly, like nobody. If this is your reaction to kind of having like him say, well, if you want, I'm assuming they were in contract talks. And I'm assuming that he's like, well, if you're going to come in, we're going to bring you up and we're going to put you in matches. We might put you in NXT. And that was like a no from Ospreay. That's the only thing I can get from it. Otherwise, he wasn't talking about you. He was talking about everybody like you that thinks they're the next fucking Roman Reigns, Cena, Undertaker. That's Okada's probably in that boat because he's like, I was the biggest shit in New Japan. I'm not willing to show up and pull Shinsuke Nakamura duty. I'm not going to show up and wrestle every night on Raw or SmackDown or show up in NXT. I need to be pushed to the main event. Bitch.
Right.
No.
That's what I think. That's what I think they're thinking, and that's just not how you
it's like the ego is great in that one.
Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to say this: like, why is it okay for AEW to shit on WWE night after night, week after weekend? WWE always look the other way, and then there's times where WWE would say something about AEW, but they would just say it and just move on with their life.
The funny part, what I find most hilarious is like.
That is both ways. I do see WWE fans.
The thing is with WWE, not fans, actual company, WWE.
Yes.
If they're shitting on AEW, they could be shitting on anybody. When it's AEW, it's like 100%. We are shitting on WWE. It's chess versus checkers.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's my point. No, go ahead, Heather. Go ahead.
The one thing that you just brought up, Basement, with Shinsuke Nakamura, he went through NXT first.
Mm-hmm.
So for Will Ospreay to think he is better than Shinsuke, he can just shove his dumb Australian head up his dumb Australian ass.
Well, and I can guarantee to you, AJ Styles would have went through NXT if it wasn't Rumble season.
Yes.
So the funny thing is, and I'll say this, I know she just said Will Ospreay, but I would say Okada. If he's one of those, it's like, I'm fucking main event.
NXT, bitch. Honestly, NXT would have been great for Okada.
Oh, God, yes.
I think a great entryway into the fucking WWE. Absolutely. This is why they did Shinsuke Nakamura the way they did them. Vince fucked it up.
They look at it as a slight, but it's like... We need to teach you how we produce things and how we work. It's not like you're not worth main eventing. It's we have to make sure when we show you
and what positionings we like.
When we bring you in, you're not gonna fucking flop.
So the funny
that motherfucker Will Ospreay, I think he's so set in his ways where it's like if the brand doesn't accept me for what I am, I'm not willing to accept the brand. That's the
But his whole thing was, don't tell me what I do for the business. I don't think Triple H, or don't tell me why I do what I do. I don't think Triple H said that at all.
I actually don't even know. I think Triple H said something that was more in reference to the multiple people he probably talked to or interact with coming to WWE that all had the same behavior.
So Triple H did say, I know.
I'm sure Kenny Omega's in there. I'm sure anybody that they might have interviewed for a chance to work in WWE. It was, when I get this vibe from you where it's like I've made my name, so obviously I'm not going to start. It's not even at the bottom of the ladder. I'm going to be included in like main event or like mid card in NXT, and it's like nope. Can't do that. I need to be highlighting Raw.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Kazuchika Okada fan.
I love him too, but
I will say this. I have never been on the bandwagon to the point where I stand there and look at that guy and think, yep, that guy needs to be in WrestleMania main event right away.
Immediately.
That makes no fucking sense. I love Okada. I think at some point
he's got a very small North American audience. That's the problem.
I think at some point, if he could really speak English, which he can speak English, if he could come out there and fucking cut that promo.
I think the problem is a lot of these guys don't understand business.
No.
I know they understand it to a point that will get them successful because they deal with it a lot. But they don't understand like larger scheme, and they're not willing to take a hit, especially when the AEW is doling out fucking millions left, right, and center for people. You're gonna go there, but long term, what are you accomplishing? What are you Will Ospreay accomplishing going to AEW? You're just gonna end up another cog in the wheel when the company takes a hit. So will you. Yeah, the era of $5 million contracts is dead for AEW.
So, Connor?
Yes?
Why don't you add to the...
What the fuck?
Will Ospreay bullshit, and then I can move on to the next thing.
What
and then
the fuck does that even mean?
Sorry, that was me. I hit a button by accident.
It's some German game that showed up. Sorry.
So, well, no, I don't know.
Ospreay.
Dumb. I don't know. Like, again, why? Like, okay, he's making a little talking shit or whatever about. Okay, fine. But as far as the whole grind thing, the comment that Triple H made, as far as like he said this before in multiple interviews in the past about like when people come to WWE, and one thing he's made very clear is like, hey, we don't care where your background is. We don't care if you were an indie like mega star before or if you're an ex-football player. You need to learn our ways. And he goes, and this is what he actually mentioned about like switching the gears in terms of what type of talent they've been bringing this last wave of NXT people. He goes, sometimes it's easier to start from scratch because that way you don't have to like break the bad habits they learned on the independent scene. And to your point, as far as the people going through the NXT program, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this. I believe that since NXT's inception as the brand that it is now, I think there have only been 2 people who have been signed to WWE who have not gone through NXT. That have been signed brand spanking new. Oh no, sorry, 3.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It would be AJ. Technically, you could say Carl Anderson, and then Jade Cargill. They're the only ones. Everybody else has gone through NXT, and so it's not so much necessarily as like, oh, you don't deserve this.
Paul too.
Logan Paul did.
Oh yeah. Logan Paul.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic, yeah, there's a bunch of them, but like
Mysterio did wrestle on NXT.
In NXT, he was the North American champion for a little bit.
Go ahead.
He's
Connor.
not trained.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cricket you. Go ahead.
Fucking cricket. No, I'm just fucking around. I am very baked, so I'm just trying to literally keep my head up. The point I was making though was that like, yeah, you would go through NXT regardless. Doesn't matter. Like it's not like a knock on your abilities or lack thereof. It's to get to accustom to the WWE style because there might be little ins and outs or parts of it. And even like to Heather's point about the production, right? Finn Balor said in an interview in the past, it's like, I didn't know what the fuck to do or like where to look. It's like, yeah, no, here's the boom. What the fuck's a boom mic or a boom,
right.
Jerry, whatever the fuck in terms of the cameras. And it's like, yeah, they're teaching you how to put on the best production show because Finn never needed to learn that because why the fuck would he? Because he would just come out, do his match and leave because that's what Japan does. Right. So it's a learning curve.
There's so much ego in Will Ospreay's statement where you don't know. You just, yes, you are in ring probably better than 90% of the people wrestling. But it doesn't matter. You need to understand that doesn't matter because once you come in, you'll learn certain things that that will change you as well. I think he looked at like it's someone saying like you have potential, but you're not where we need you to be at this time, and that person saying, well, you only got where you were because you fucked the boss daughter.
Yeah,
like that. The reaction is so elementary. It just proves why he shouldn't be hired.
Yeah,
all he did was prove why I wouldn't hire him.
He does what I call burning bridges.
Yeah, but it's also like the only people that do that are fucking teenagers and idiots.
Yes, which is the audience for AEW. So anyway, the trio. I'm sorry, it's true. The trios.
That's actually pretty funny.
The trios match, Lionheart, Chris Jericho. Yes, this motherfucker stuff. Lionheart, Chris Jericho.
He's trying to be Jean-Claude Van Damme now.
Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and you look at him and it's like, holy fuck, he needs to sit down.
I just want to move on from this, but he is in. I think he's building a feud with Hook. So Chris Jericho, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata had a match against Shane Taylor Promotions, the Governor, Anthony Ogogo, Lee Moriarty, and Shane Taylor. And they lost because they're trying to build a feud between Hook and Chris Jericho. Moving on, I
got a question for you, Connor, first. And Mershawn or Trek if you're alive. Do you think the introduction of like Japanese wrestlers has done anything for AEW? Do you think the North American audience gives a flying shit about Shibata or Okada or any of that?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
And it baffles me because WWE already did this. And it already failed.
It did.
Yeah.
That's correct with Shinsuke.
No, not even that. Before that. Back in the fucking 90s, you had fucking Japanese wrestlers. Yeah, I mean, they got along and they were part of it, but no Japanese wrestler being infused in the North American audience when Japanese wrestling isn't already being watched means jack shit. Yeah. You don't even need like half a brain to understand that, which baffles me.
They tried it even before that with Haku in WCW.
Huh? Haku.
Not Haku.
I know he's Meng, but what do you mean the storyline they did with Haku? What are you talking about?
An Asian style wrestler coming in.
Well, Haku is actually.
I know he's actually
Tongan.
Samoan, but
Tongan.
I think you were talking about what's his name? Tensai?
No.
Which was isn't that Albert?
Yeah.
A guy with squinty eyes that is a white man.
Bloom. Dude,
racist.
Matt Bloom. He's the head coach at NXT as far as people.
And he's the hairiest man I've ever seen.
People that are at the fucking performance center. He's that guy. He's Roman Reigns. He taught Roman Reigns.
Let me see how he wrestles. Actually, Roman Reigns has been pretty good recently, but A-Train wouldn't be my pick for teaching people how to wrestle.
Yeah, WWE's on a whole nother level farther from AEW, but that's not the point. I just want to get through
keep burying themselves. They're just digging.
They do. So Kazuchika Okada, the new AEW Continental Champion, fucking stupid, defeated Cristiano Argento. I don't give a shit. Backstage, we heard from ROH 6-man tag team, Bang Bang Gang. Nobody cared. I was just disinterested. I would much rather talk football with Rayshawn at that time. AEW's, which is what we did. AEW's world champion, timeless Tony Storm. This is one thing that I wanted to talk about, just real quick. And I don't want to spend too much time on this. Tony Storm, if you have not seen her gimmick, are you fucking kidding me?
It's god awful.
What the fuck is she? She's trying to be that
black and white Hollywood damsel.
Damsel in distress bullshit that you see on fucking like a fucking Cary Grant fucking movie.
It's weird because that gimmick
of Cary Grant movies is so bad.
It's a gimmick that's so gimmicky.
Yes.
That it belongs in WWE in 2018. When they were like going hyper on that stupid shit. Vaudevillains?
Yes, 100%. Name the gimmick, the worst gimmick in WWE ever, and compare it to that.
Repo Man.
No, I'm talking storyline where the actual champion.
Wait, what was your question again?
The top champion on the women's division or men's
women's
division. Name me
Yeti.
the worst fucking gimmick ever fucking done for a champion in wrestling.
Team Lay Cool.
Eugene.
That was pretty bad too. Eugene was never a world champion in WWE though.
Oh, he had a championship of some form.
He had the tag titles.
Yeah, he had tag titles.
Anything Braun Strowman related?
No.
Khali
Braun
related.
Strowman's way better than this fucking gimmick.
Great Khali.
Great Khali's better.
Great Khali is terrible.
It's terrible, but this may be worse.
World champion.
I would put
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal. No, now Jinder Mahal is way better.
The thing is, Jinder Mahal, like honestly,
he stepped up.
It was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
He stepped up. Connor, go ahead and say what you just said.
No, I was just saying that, like, Jinder Mahal, to his credit, to the best of his ability, he fucking stepped it up.
And I was just going to say that.
Okay, but I'm talking about that time. I cannot. When you say past,
he said in history. So it's all time.
And I don't know how far back into wrestling you can go. I can honestly tell you that I would argue the Mankind gimmick
But at the time,
Now I'm not shitting on it because it worked at the time. I'm like, because I was one of those people. I'm watching this live, and I was watching WCW at the time when this happened. A little piece of history. I am watching WCW, and I'm sitting there. I'm one of those people, and they're like, Mankind wins the title. I flipped that fucking channel. That is the day that I watched WWE first and fucking started recording WCW. Because I wanted to see what WWE was.
You know what? The worst, one of the worst WWE title reigns is Bray Wyatt.
That
as
gimmick,
the Fiend.
Yes, as the Fiend. Yes.
Yeah.
Not even.
That was.
He only had even his normal Bray Wyatt. He only had the belt for a fucking month.
But it was
that was still a better storyline.
I think it was a better
Bray Wyatt turning into the Fiend, horrible.
I give my comments.
Nicholas, tag team champion.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was.
But that's Braun Strowman related.
But it was so back related. Then. It was WWE's like, so what moment can we come up with? But what moment can we come up with? And they're like, hey, how about this? We have a kid come out. And WWE did it.
And it was the son of one of the top referees.
But it was a terrible gimmick. It was a terrible gimmick.
I still think, honestly, I think I'm going to go with Great Khali. So bad. So bad. In every way.
I don't know, but this may be...
Bad on the mic. Couldn't move.
My point is, this may be as bad as that. That's how bad this is.
Ouch, shit. I forgot what we were originally talking about.
Tony Storm's gimmick.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, why now? This was something that could have existed back in, like, the 80s.
Yes.
I don't get it.
So, moving on, that led into Mariah May defeating Annie Jay for the, I don't know, they just had a match. And it was, like, 5 minutes. Alex Marvez was backstage with CEO Mercedes Moné. So that's her name in AEW. Apparently it's Mercedes Moné, not Monet. So fucking bad. So apparently she was attacked during this. Who cares? Don't care. Moving on. That's how much I give a shit about fucking Sasha Banks. And I'm going to call her Sasha Banks because she was better in WWE. She just didn't know what she had.
She's not drawing any numbers whatsoever for AEW.
AEW title eliminator match. Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes. So I guess this is how much I paid attention to AEW.
It was the main event.
It was the main event. And then Tony Khan tweets out, we're going to have overtime. I looked at the clock. It was 9:02. Why even fucking do it?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Mercedes Moné, I don't think she's a bad signing for any wrestling company, but she ain't it, man. She is. Her mic skills are horrible.
They are very
it's like honestly, I think this is equivalent to AEW getting Bayley. Wouldn't do anything for the company.
She's trying so hard to fucking try and pull off what LA Knight's doing, what fucking...
She's not a bad wrestler, but she's so overvalued, it's not even funny.
Yes.
Hey guys, I have to unfortunately hop off. My little one just woke up, so I got to call it an evening, but do you guys do anything tomorrow?
If we can watch the movie Star Wars, otherwise nothing's planned.
Yeah, tomorrow night
right,
we'll talk. We'll talk.
We'll talk. All right, you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye. Peace.
So SmackDown happened, and this show was really good. This is one of the best. This was almost better than the Go Home show.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this earlier, right? Mm-hmm. Because I watched some of Raw, and then I looked at the rest of Raw, and I'm like, okay, you kind of want like the Raw after Mania to have some debuts and shit like that, and I'm thinking in my mind, I'm fucking an idiot because the roster is split in half.
Yeah.
So SmackDown after Mania should be the exact same idea as Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
Because of the roster split in half, and they did do something with that, which is good.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did, and we'll get into it. So Cody Rhodes announced his new his challenger for the WWE Backlash, and it would be a winner of a combination of triple threat matches, which it wasn't people that it's like just random fucking people.
Yeah.
They were top guys, which was they had the triple threat match, and the one star came out of one, and another star came out of another, and those three were.
How about you go through each of the matches?
Yeah, so LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, and Santos Escobar were in a triple threat match. This is what Cody alluded to, and he was only out there for. I didn't get to watch it because something was happening in baseball. I was pretty intrigued by that
bench clear.
Yeah, this is a triple threat match. One of the winner of this is one of the opponents or possible opponents for Cody, and I enjoyed the shit out of this match. It had the moments.
Mm-hmm.
It had the little nuances that you're looking at. LA Knight ended up winning the match after some. They're building feuds, man. They're building feuds. So we had Bobby Lashley and his crew moved on to. They are going to feud. They're going to feud with Legado del Fantasma, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. They came out, interfered in the match, Bobby Lashley, and it just built another feud. LA Knight ended up winning the match, so of course he is one of the guys. Moving on to face in the main event of that night. Yeah?
I think so,
Yeah, it happened in the main event of the show tonight. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. Dude, blown the fuck away by this. I knew it was coming. But I'm like, holy shit.
It's always going to be Jacob Fatu.
No.
Everybody keeps pushing for him.
I like this better because when they introduce him, he has to be like he has to be the new Solo, the wrecker of shit.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this now. Here.
I got it. God damn it. I don't have room to move the mouse over here. Just keep talking.
I personally think this builds another bloodline.
Yes, 100%.
This was beautiful.
I think The Rock is encircling them.
So that's the thing. See, you just fucking said it. We'll get there. I said that to Heather tonight. I think they're building the Rock Roman. Rock's going to be on one side. Roman's going to be on the other. Whoever wins.
This is going to go on for a year, man. This is a War Games match, and it's making already.
Cody Rhodes has done his main event, right? You want that money match? You do Rock Roman for the Tribal Chief.
Yeah, I think the implosion of the bloodline will be from now until next WrestleMania. Yeah. Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania is what I would do. And then I'd have them fight throughout, in different iterations, because there's so many of them, right?
Yeah.
My question to you is, they have to have a lot of confidence in Solo. Because he's about to have a lot of fucking cameras on him. Oh, yes. And his ability to speak, because you're not going to have The Rock around a lot, and you're not going to have Roman Reigns around a lot. So, I don't know.
They're doing things very smart. They're not having him say a lot.
What I do love about this is they can do more. So this is another bloodline story. They're not even fucking related.
I can tell you right now, they're going to do what they did with The Undertaker, where it's like, he showed up and he's like, as per the Tribal Chief. And then they panned to Solo and insinuated he was the Tribal Chief. It's The Rock.
Yeah.
It's not Solo. Solo's like the acting force. I hope we get enough to carry us till we see like someone that can actually cut a promo and stuff, because I think they're going to use like Solo as the enforcer guy, and then Jacob Fatu will show up. It'll be Jacob Solo,
Fatu,
and Tama Tonga versus the Usos and Roman, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's going to come down to. I think it's going to. Well, I think it's honestly it's going to come down to Solo Sikoa. It's ultimately this is to turn Roman Reigns baby.
He's going to turn face, but sorry, Rishon, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say that they are entirely not blood related. So it's like Anoa'i, and then there's another part of the family.
I'm not even talking about The Rock. I'm actually talking about the Tama Tonga showing up, because they alluded to it during the Hall of Fame, and Paul Heyman did. During the Hall of Fame speech, Haku is family.
They're gonna wolfpack these motherfuckers. I'm telling you that right now.
They are.
It's gonna be the offshoot of the bloodline.
But it's gonna be a better version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my problem is I don't see an actual leader in that group.
No.
Oh, it'll be Rock and it'll be Roman, and I get.
Yeah, but you can't. The problem. The problem is with The Rock, you'll get him fucking twice a year.
Yeah.
You need a consistent leader of that group.
You said it. I think they're literally trying to build Solo Sikoa to be that.
He's going to be the sergeant.
I think it might be Jey Uso.
That could be too.
At this point, he's separated from the bloodline.
I think ultimately it's going to be Jimmy and Jey Uso come back.
Jay has his biggest problem against Roman. And you need someone that can talk on the mic. Solo ain't great, and the rest ain't great. You need that person.
Tama Tonga is a lot better than Solo.
Well, what they did allude
to... I know, what I saw wasn't 100% great.
Well, he didn't need to do much. Him showing up was enough, I think.
Hey, bloodline. That's what Tribal Chief.
They beat the shit out of Jimmy, though. And this is why I say they're going back to it. Jimmy's gonna ask and plead, and you, like you said earlier, they're gonna try to build that storyline to the point where Jay will then probably end up losing the title because of Jimmy. But he's like, no man, I'm here for you. You know that.
I don't know, man.
They're gonna have that moment. They're gonna have that moment, that Shield moment. Remember when everybody wanted Dean Ambrose and fucking Seth Rollins to do that fist bump thing? Everybody wanted it. And it worked. They're going to do the same thing with the
I feel like pretty confident in saying they're going to do like Bloodline versus Bloodline Wolfpack. Yes. Yeah. And you're going to have the two different Usos on two different sides.
Yes.
It would work better that way than it would have them be together with Roman Reigns.
My point is, at some point they will come back together.
Yes, but this will be that like moment in the match.
Yes.
Where they're like, "Oh, can we fight each other again?" or whatever, and like they'll have like a side story where they're kind of getting along and not wanting to like do this shit anymore.
Yep.
The question I have for you is like right now when you look at the Bloodline, there's not enough, in my opinion, for what they want to do. Though they have a bunch of fucking Samoan guys, there's not enough to fill a 4 versus 4 or a 3 versus 3, especially if you're going to put the Usos on different sides.
You know what? I see that happening in Survivor Series.
That's what I'm saying. In War Games, you got the Wolfpack version of Bloodline versus the regular Bloodline, but then you have Roman Reigns and you have Jey Uso or you have Jimmy Uso. One of the Usos that doesn't go with the Wolfpack version. But who else do you have?
I think you have Roman, the Usos, and then I think Sam is just going to ride with Jey Uso.
I think they're going to keep the Usos separate. That's what I would do.
Until a certain point.
Until either that match at War Games or WrestleMania. Yeah, I'd keep them separate.
Series, honestly, based on Survivor Series, I think the Usos will be back together.
No, they'll be back together at Survivor.
You have two options. You either have Roman and the Usos, or you have Roman with one of the Usos and the other Usos on the other side. I think for storyline purposes, keeping the Usos separate is a very smart idea. So you have one of the Usos go with Solo Sikoa. You have him, and Fatu and
I
Tamatanga.
think it'll be Jimmy that goes with Solo.
But why would he? He just got fucked up.
Yes,
that's why I would say Jay. No, Jay.
Chief's order.
It's by tribal chief's order.
Jay is going with. I think Jay will turn fucking heel, man.
Yes.
If you looked at Paul Heyman, he had the look of that doesn't make any sense. He even said it. If you go back and watch a YouTube clip, he will actually. You'll see Jay. Paul Heyman had a tear coming out of his eye.
I'm telling you, man. You want Jay to have a very, very solid singles run. Make him the head of the Wolfpack version of the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He can talk on the mic. He can work it. He just needs that extra thing that separates him from his brother. And then you have Jimmy being fucking fucked over by Solo, running back to Roman Reigns. Now, I don't know who you include in that version of the other side of the Wolfpack version of the Bloodline. But,
I think that they bridged the gap a little bit with Cody Rhodes thing. I think Cody Rhodes will face Solo Sikoa at some point for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I mean the Bloodline will be like. I honestly, I can see it right now. If I'm wrong, then fuck me. But I honestly think like the Bloodline side, the Wolfpack Bloodline thing will come to be a reality for this year.
Yes.
And you'll see Jey Uso at the top because he turned face. What else are you going to do with him?
The new version of the Bullet Club / NWO bullshit.
Yeah, it'll be Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, Fatu, and fucking Tamatanga.
Yep. So good. It was good, though. I enjoyed the shit out of this fucking segment.
Either that or Jacob joins the other side, and then we get Tangaloa.
I prefer to see him as like the new version of Sikoa, which is the enforcer, like rabid dog, because that's how he runs. He's a fucking wild man.
He's a beast.
That's how he wrestles.
He really
He needs to be part of the heel side, in my opinion.
No, Jacob Fatu.
Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
He needs to be part of the heel side.
Umaga's son.
He needs to be part of the heel side. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
What's up, Gorilla?
How you doing, Gorilla?
I just don't know who else they're going to bring.
That's what we're waiting for. I think you said that the last time we talked about this. I think you said Jacob Fatu is going to show up at WrestleMania. You were incorrect, I think.
No.
But that's okay.
But he's coming. He's coming.
Yeah, according to his own
signed
self, he signed.
You know what they're going to bring up?
Wednesday. 2 Wednesdays
They'll
ago.
have The Rock's daughter
Oh my God! Please.
be part of being released.
Could you imagine The Rock's like, dude, get rid of the fucking lisp? No,
It's not even a lisp. She talks with her teeth.
I'm just.
She's the tooth talker.
Anyway, so Braun Breaker made his literal debut. I think this is the beginning of his actual debut on SmackDown. He defeated Cameron Grimes. I think it was a quick, short match. Really wasn't much to it.
Doing that to Cameron Grimes?
Cameron Grimes has become that guy, and I'm okay with it.
They just don't know what to do with him at this point in time.
If you listen to what Basement just said, there's nothing wrong with having those guys. Well, we have nothing to do with you.
So we'll put you up against
We'll still put you in matches so you can get your work. So Triple H is using his talent. He's not just. They're not doing something.
I feel like I'd be more comfortable with if we're showcasing you. We might have plans for you in the future.
That's what he's
doing. But you just don't fit into what we're doing right now.
They don't fit into current.
And right now,
Cameron Grimes will be part of a faction or a tag team in the next 6 months. Honestly, like it's 100%.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as of right now, their book is so wide open they can literally go anywhere with anybody.
Yes.
Well, they're also looking at introducing what I think is Uncle Howdy in some iteration.
It's something.
And honestly, if they're smart, they'd introduce him as like a faction leader.
Yeah.
I'm only saying why Cameron Grimes because they have other talents that they could use in replace of Cameron Grimes.
Okay.
And then also there's a draft coming up, and you want to. Huh?
They might be looking to showcase him because they plan on doing something with him.
He is that guy that can put on a good match without being involved in the storyline.
I mean, I'm not.
It's nothing against him. They're not burying him.
They wouldn't be showing him on TV if they were burying him.
Yeah. Or they would have him in such a complete squash match.
I think they might be looking at like putting him in a feature, like whatever they're gonna do in like a month or something after the draft.
They'll do something with him. WWE.
It's like if watching basketball and it's like, oh, this guy's fucking shit, and they'll play him all the time because they want to draft. They want to trade him. It's like there's plans for the future for you.
By showcasing him.
That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
WWE is gonna do something with him. Triple H is. You watch. Triple H is gonna start bringing back some of the guys that he had from NXT that were released.
Well, Cameron Grimes has like the entire package. He can talk. He can wrestle.
You can see the new Nexus at some point.
I honestly feel like they're gonna get like a. I would love, honestly, if they brought back a version of the Wyatt family without Bray Wyatt, but with Uncle Howdy.
Yeah,
and you threw Cameron Grimes in there.
Oh God, he can play that part so well.
Grimes, the other guy that's Bryant 2.0, Gacy, Joe Gacy, I think his name is.
Joe Gacy is another guy that they could do that with, and I think Bo Dallas will be the leader, end up ultimately being the leader, but. They aren't. Trust me, they aren't shitting on. And yes, they can do it with a bunch of other talent, but not. Why not do it with
somebody you know can work?
Somebody you know can work.
I mean, Braun Strowman's still around, right? He's still part of the roster.
Again, it creates new storylines.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that what they did with Braun Breaker, they could do the same thing with Cameron Grimes and the person. I mean, yeah, obviously. Braun Breaker is a bigger duel and whatever the case may be. I'm just saying showcase him, like showcase his talent, not in the losing feat against Braun Breaker.
So you're trying to build a big time. So this is why they did what they did.
He could have used that with.
I understand.
Braun Breaker should have been in a match with Akira Tozawa.
Okay, now you're taking that would have been like then. Okay, I know what WWE is doing.
I have a.
Why not put him against somebody that listen? And I understand what you're saying. Braun Breaker, I am telling you, they are going to build this kid. He is going to take. He is going to take the title. Gunther's gonna win the fucking title at some point.
I have a very strong feeling that they put those two together because they probably worked live shows together and they haven't even worked with each other's talent.
100 fucking.
That is honestly my bet.
So
the fact that they've worked together previously and it allows you to like not have the awkwardness of people that haven't worked together. That's what I would think.
100% agree with you. And again, I will say this. Why not put him against somebody that knows how to work, that we aren't doing something with at the moment, right? And have Braun Breaker destroy... Because we all know Gunther
I look at this as like a show.
Hold on. We all know Gunther can work. Build Braun Breaker to come out and just bend that motherfucker in half. Right? Not saying bury Gunther, but have him be that next guy. Kid's only 24. And he's already 10 times better than his fucking uncle and his brother. Or his dad. Sorry. The guy can work inside the fucking ring and he can talk. Let him fucking do his thing.
I am not shitting on him at all.
But they're not shit.
He's just questioning the booking decision.
I know what he's questioning, and there's nothing wrong. You can't, if you're gonna build somebody like a Braun Breaker to take on somebody like Gunther, what Triple H is doing, we're gonna build long-term storytelling, but not every fucking story can be long-term storytelling. Sometimes they need to fast track it. Triple H is doing that with Braun Breaker, and I'm not saying he's gonna win the world fucking title.
Rayshon, what's your point?
My point is they could have used it with anybody against anybody. Cameron Grimes need that too. He needs to be showcased and wins as well. And he's been on the roster. I think he's been on the main roster longer than
Rayshon. I understand what you are saying, and you are right. But right now, until Uncle Howdy Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy shows up because I agree with Basement 1000%. That's where he's going. Until he shows up.
Honestly feel okay. So this is the way. The way I look at it, Rayshon, is that they want to build up Braun Breaker, and they want to have that happen with him facing someone I think that he's familiar with. This is what I'm looking at. And I know he could fight anybody under the sun, but like every time, from my understanding of wrestling, anytime they want people to like fight together on the main stage for pay-per-views or anything like that, they have a bunch of live shows where they fight against each other. These guys might have worked with each other a lot, so it with that being an added thing, they're able to perform at a higher level because they know each other. That's the only reason I can think they did what they did, Rayshon. And I agree with you that I think they both need a boost. But to JP's point, I think the boost for Cameron Grimes might come with the Uncle Howdy reveal. Therefore, throwing him under the fucking bus for Braun Breaker means nothing to his character.
You can come full circle with it.
But that's the only way I can like explain it in a way that I think it makes sense.
I agree with you, and I get what you're saying, Rayshon. It's nothing against. They're not going to do it weekly. Like
I think Grimes needs
like
reinvigoration.
Braun Breaker is not going to come out the very next week and do the same thing to him because that would just be stupid. He'll move on to somebody else.
But I think they're gonna keep Braun Breaker fighting people he's fought with for a lot of the time.
There's nothing wrong
until they feel confident of him fighting somebody he hasn't.
It'll be Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Heather.
Which is fine because this is how they bring them up.
All right, now Rayshon, let me ask you this: even if they did do something like this for Cameron Grimes, and Gunther was still holding the IC title, would you see Cameron Grimes being able to take the belts off of fucking Gunther?
If they
even with doing all of that,
right? I could see that.
Really,
Sami Zayn, really. I see Chad Gable winning that championship.
Cameron Grimes is, I think, like I'm with you, man. He's a good talent, and he's got all the tools. He's just not there yet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sami Zayn has fucking like lived in squalor for a long time, and so has Chad Gable on the main roster. I don't think Cameron Grimes has yet, I don't think he needs to do that. But...
Championship, period. I just
I know. I gave you the reason I thought that they put the match.
No, I hear you. She asked me about a championship. I don't think.
Well, ultimately, that's where Braun Breaker is going to end up with them doing this. That's what they're getting him ready for.
I get that.
That's why I brought up Cameron Grimes going through the same trail that they are going to be doing for Braun Breaker.
I mean, he could have went the U.S. championship, right?
I think they're willing to sacrifice Cameron Grimes because they are probably going to change his character.
They are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought that he was there longer.
He was there longer, but
it's not a matter of
tenure.
How long.
Tenure doesn't really matter.
Tenure means nothing.
With wrestling, it's all about talent and
star.
I mean, you had 38-year-old fucking Bobby Lashley making out with fucking what's her tits?
Lana.
Lana.
Yeah. So they completely threw his tenure under the bus.
They did. But what they're doing with Bobby Lashley, he's going to be. I think it's going to come full circle with Karrion Kross, like we talked. I really do.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton came out, and Bayley came. Well, Bayley actually came
Who beat up Rhea Ripley in the back?
Oh, that was Liv Morgan. This is why I jump over shit, because I didn't see it. Because I don't give a shit.
Liv Morgan beat up Rhea Ripley in the back.
Pretty much.
Didn't that happen on Raw, though?
Yes.
She did it again?
Wait, Liv Morgan beat up Rhea Ripley in the back.
There is a reason why I do not give a shit about fucking Rhea Ripley.
Or Liv
Morgan. I like Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan beating up Rhea Ripley in the back? In what world is that believable? That's like Jack Perry beat up CM Punk.
That is what I am saying. Rhea Ripley does not fucking do it for me. They put her in a fucking feud with Liv Morgan. She got her ass beat. What? If you're trying to turn her a baby face, having Liv Morgan come out and kick the fuck out of her is not going to fucking do it.
Well, the problem is Rhea Ripley is twice, literally.
Yes.
The woman of Liv Morgan.
Yes.
So it's like, oh my god, we're in the back and Rey Mysterio is beating the shit of Brock Lesnar. What?
Yeah. So, unless Liv Morgan, who just got a lucky shot in on fucking Rhea Ripley...
Or had a weapon.
It's true. There is no way, unless she is doing some sort of faction on the women's side...
Hold on. Rhea and Liv Morgan had a match on SmackDown? Yes, that's what y'all saying?
No,
this was on Raw.
This happened on Raw, and I skipped over it.
I saw Rhea Ripley being beat up by somebody, and I thought it was Tiffany Stratton because I saw blonde hair.
I'm trying, but you brought up Rhea Ripley. I don't give a fuck about Rhea Ripley anymore. I just do not care.
I like Rhea Ripley.
I do too, but do something else with her.
Well, this is why I thought it was Tiffany Stratton beating her up in the back. I'm like, I'd be down for that.
I would be too.
But it was Liv Morgan, who's like 4'9".
Now that they are doing a draft in 3 weeks, like Connor said. That's a whole nother issue. But they might move her over.
Are they just trying to give her a competitor for the
I think if they're going to flip titles, that is who fucking takes the title off of Rhea Ripley.
They'd be like, on Raw, the title was drafted. On SmackDown, Rhea Ripley was. There you go. Take title off her.
But so Tiffany Stratton came out and cut a promo on Bayley. I think Tiffany Stratton will get that one shot at some point. And Naomi came out, and then Naomi and Tiffany Stratton had a match, which is a pretty good match. It lasted about 15-20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both pretty solid. Naomi's a good in-ring worker, though. She's like, let me put my ass in your face.
Yeah, I did not like that spot.
I like that.
I think Tiffany Stratton title shot is too soon. Even though I think
no, they aren't going to put her in it anytime soon. They're building her for it. She's going to get a bunch of losses before she starts winning consistently.
At some point,
I could see Tiffany Stratton versus Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, or preferably Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
That was where I was going to say. I agree with you. She's not getting a title shot. I said at some point they are going to put the title on her. I think she may get a title shot, but she's not winning it. She's going to get that title shot based on heel tactics and how she is acting as a person. She's acting like the mean girl, rich bitch, I get what I want character. She's being Stephanie McMahon without being Stephanie McMahon.
She's Sasha Banks if she was white.
She's Sasha Banks if Sasha Banks was done right. So, on the main roster, by the way, and that's a Vince thing.
It's crazy because I think actually Tiffany Stratton is a better in-ring wrestler than Sasha Banks.
I agree with you.
And potentially Bianca Belair, I think for sure.
Speaking of Bianca Belair,
so Chelsea Green came out and went into the office, and she's been doing this thing with Adam Pearce, and it's been pretty good. She came out and she said, "I wanted my moment. I didn't get my moment," which is pretty funny, And Chelsea Green, Adam Pearce is like, "Thank you for being on Raw, and we might have something for you." And of course,
SmackDown, not Raw.
SmackDown. I'm sorry. Jade Cargill came out
and posed because Hulk Hogan must pose.
She wasn't in the ring very long. Bianca Belair. The problem that I have with this whole thing.
What he means to say is this was a women's tag match with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Okay, I know it's coming, but please, Lord, turn Bianca Belair a heel.
I am with you 100%.
I need it. And I think she'll actually be a pretty good heel, but she needs to learn how to actually not wrestle, but like tell a story in the ring. She's horrible at it.
Out of my head. Everything you were saying, I said to Heather tonight.
Yes.
I like Bianca Belair. I think like she has a lot of potential, but if she can't fucking put a story together in the ring, she's not doing gymnastics in the ring. Please, God, learn the difference. And I think that's like a false, a fault of her being a face for so long.
Yes.
Give her the heel run. Hopefully she gets it. So hopefully she Roman Reigns herself.
Right.
And gets it.
Right. But so they had her come out last. And what I think they are doing, and this is me just watching, they are doing this Bianca Belair. Jade Cargill is essentially going to get sick and fucking tired of Bianca Belair trying to overshadow her, or Bianca Belair sick and tired of Jade Cargill overshadowing her, which is where I think it's going. And that's when Bianca Belair turns, and then they have their match at WrestleMania. And it won't be for a title, it'll just be a singles match.
There's almost a nip slip in that picture.
There is a couple.
What I'm looking for is I want a hair versus hair match. And the best part would be Bianca Belair. And the best part would be unclips her head. She'll just unclip her hair. I think like that's a way you like. I mean, if you're gonna go back to the fucking old school era, hair versus hair, her versus Jade Cargill, or her versus anybody, and it just like pulls off the fucking. But I'm sure like her hair is like
there was a segment in this show with Solo Sikoa, and I skipped over the segments. But the segment with Solo Sikoa, they came out and Paul Heyman had a tear in his eye, and he came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
They said, "How is Jimmy?" And
Paul just shook his head.
Head, not good. Whatever.
He's dead.
I don't know. I didn't see anything.
I watched it.
But I don't know if you heard it.
I did.
So she can speak on it, but
they're gonna double turn those motherfuckers, Jay and Jimmy. I can see it.
I think but they'll end up back together.
Yes, but they will fight each other in war games first.
Yes.
But I think
Kayla was asking how Jimmy was, and then asking, what brought this up.
KO asked how Jimmy
Kayla
asked how Jimmy was. Yeah, okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And she was asking, what brought this on? What's going on? Can you explain any further details of what's happening? And that's when Tama Tonga comes into frame, looks at the door, looks at Paul, and doesn't get out of my way. And Paul's like, no, please don't, not now.
Tribal Chief.
But Tama Tonga, looked at Paul Heyman. I heard it, and he said, by order of the tribal chief.
I love that he doesn't refer.
Then Solo Sikoa came in. He said by the order of the tribal chief.
I thought Solo Sikoa just came in, where they were alluding to the fact that Solo Sikoa take over the reins of the tribal chief.
Right.
That's what I got, but I'm like, it's The Rock.
Yeah, now he's playing Sergeant to whoever's really pulling the strings.
But the genius is like, by orders of the tribal chief. They pan to Solo. They never call Solo the tribal chief.
No.
He just gets panned to and the audience is like, oh, so he's taking over.
Right.
And he's going to be presented as taking over. This is why I'm like, they're going to do that fucking like Undertaker shit where it's like, I am the Dark Lord.
It was me all the time, Austin.
It's going to be Undertaker after all. But it's going to be The Rock. I honestly feel like that's where they're going with the story.
And that's going to lead to Roman and Rock.
But it will eventually lead there, but it'll lead to the Bloodline versus the offshoot of the Bloodline.
Yes.
And I think you're going to have the Usos versus each other. There's multiple storylines being told, which will be great.
Yep.
I just don't know who else they're going to get on the Roman side, because you got Roman and probably Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
and Paul Heyman.
That's probably.
We'll see what they do in the draft, though. That's going to be the huge thing. But go ahead, Heather. I'm sorry.
That's probably where you'll see Roman go to Cody and say, "Listen, we had our beef. That is squashed. That is squashed for the moment. Help me get this egotistical prick off my fucking show."
That could be.
And then we'll talk about our future.
That could be. That could be a good. That could. I mean. That's
and then you have Cody's brother show up. Oh my God!
but there's ways they can go, and this is the beauty part of Triple H's. I'm gonna say the Paul Levesque era, but I do agree. Renaissance era
is so much.
I just don't want to do
there's
Paul
different ways he can
terrible.
go, and if people buy into something, because he did say we are gonna do things. If it don't work, we will never do it again.
Well, I mean, chances are everything we've kind of like, it's not even fantasy booking. It's just looking at the way that it is and being like, this is where they might go.
Yeah. And the fact that there are
we're probably going to be, we're probably going to be about 15 to 20% right. And everything else will be different, which is what you want. You don't want to be able to predict everything,
and that's
you
how,
know?
and that's what I love. And Triple H will give that to those 15 to 20%, and then you'll be waiting your turn. And then he's not building hope that you could be a booker, but it gets building, hey, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to do this fantasy football thing, but we're going to do it our way.
Well, I mean, they'll always...
And I'm not saying that's what they're going to do, but they're going to do it booking-wise.
The thing is, like, worst case scenario,
like what we do
I mean,
shows. But,
if they did this and it turned out exactly like what we said, that's fucking awesome for me.
Yes,
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in on that.
But I'm not gonna.
But if it doesn't happen that way, then fucking, I'm still down for it. As long as it's not stupid.
Yes.
And as long as it's not insulting.
100%.
Like, I'm tired of like entertainment, whether it be shows or wrestling, being insulting to their fan base.
Yep.
Like the era of like, oh, you know, wrestling fans only have the memory of a goldfish. It's like, no, motherfucker, Trekkipedia remembers when wrestling was born.
Yeah.
So like I mean, I don't remember everything, but like I can at least remember a storyline from start to finish, especially when you have like the packages that show everything. Mm-hmm. Stop just like being like, this week matters.
Yeah.
For this week, and then next week matters for that week. This is the wrestling booking I like.
Yes.
And I'm happy for it.
Yep. So the final thing they had, the main event, they had AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat match to advance the number one contenders match.
Where AJ Styles hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
But yes, which was really fucking good. But the fucking thing, Kevin Owens is great.
Mm-hmm.
He is so fucking good.
I'm gonna stand it forever, baby.
You know that thing that they always fucking do in the final
camera
fucking
shoe
match
following
with
the
the
guy
camera
out?
shoe following the guy out?
Uh-huh.
We're gonna do that. And then he fucking goes on to the next fucking
and
thing.
I'm gonna keep this.
I'm gonna keep this so we walked by the fucking
the one thing with Kevin Owens,
they were in Detroit and they marketed because they did that. They're doing the baseball belts and it's baseball season. He said they're in Detroit, so he's like, that's the Detroit Tigers. I love me some Tigers. And he threw the fucking Tigers belt on his shoulder and he walked out to the fucking gorilla position and he said something else. And then they fucking...
that's when he turned to Triple H. He's like, I'm keeping this.
Yeah, he looked at Triple H. I'm keeping this. And then he fucking said... he said, hey, dipshit, I can't remember the guy's name. He said, here's the mic. And then he said, hey, you, cue my music. And he walked out to the fucking ring. So fucking good. And
I can tell you, this year, yes, you'll have Roman. Yes, you'll have Cody. Yes, you'll have McIntyre. Yes, you'll have Seth Rollins.
Yes.
But literally, a cunt tear underneath, you're going to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is going to be a year where they're actually showcased to the extent that they could be, back to the NXT days. Honestly, and like, I don't give a shit if you're Canadian or not. It doesn't matter to me. No. Kevin Owens can do it all. And he's such a good heel. And he's an in-betweener. He's good at being like, he's a heel face. Sami Zayn, please God, keep him face. Don't put him heel. Don't want it. But they're both really good at what they do, and I'd love to see this year be dedicated to them have a match at WrestleMania. They can be involved in everything else, but I'd love for it to culminate there.
Yeah.
Because they know each other in the know, and they're both great at what they do.
Their chemistry is really good too.
Yeah, but like you're building off of last year's WrestleMania, the fucking walk through the tunnel.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the story writes itself. They were there for each other,
right?
Until they weren't. I don't know. I like that as like an undercard that I would treat as a main event. Man.
Yeah, the funny thing is he came. They went to a commercial after he came out. He sat there. He's sitting on the fucking turnbuckle. And they're like, let's go. I've been sitting here for 4 minutes. Like, he was doing fucking... He did a couple of
breaking the fourth wall.
He did a couple of pop culture references. He did a couple of other things that were fucking... It was fucking great. It's like he kind of promo. Oh, this is how we're doing this now? Well,
he's like a modern day light Stone Cold.
Yes.
Modern day light Stone Cold.
Okay.
And then we'll finish.
But I do think I do think both those guys are gonna have a huge. This next WrestleMania, if booked correctly, could be fucking massive. And you'd have Roman versus The Rock, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, and then you have everybody else.
Do they want to be at WrestleMania next?
Not yet.
Where are they gonna be?
I don't know.
Pretty sure. Did they announce it? Like, they announce it usually, like, fucking 15 months beforehand, right?
Yeah, they announced it on the show, right? No?
I can't remember. Did they announce it?
There is nothing, no.
Oh, wow.
This might be a WrestleMania outside of the U.S.
This may be in London. It's
know.
either that or they're going to go to Minnesota, and then after Minnesota, then they're going to London.
Yeah. Well, they're not coming to Canada.
They better make sure that they are prepared.
Well, actually, you never know.
Well, they came to Canada once.
He just may get, like, Toronto.
We had Rock versus Hogan. Okay. And that's all I have to say.
But you may see them going back to Toronto or even getting a stadium in Quebec.
No. Not Quebec. No, if they're going to come to Canada, they'll probably go to Toronto. If they don't go to Toronto, like
Montreal. It is the most popular city.
Montreal, no. The population doesn't count.
I think I agree with you. I think that's where they're going with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. At some point, them two will have a big...
I mean, if they take the storylines that I think that they're kind of creating and they push it forward to next Mania, oh my.
Yeah.
Yep.
The potential is huge.
I mean, that's what I love so much about what's going on right now, because in a way they are planting seeds everywhere for next WrestleMania.
So they brought AJ Styles out next, and then they brought out Rey Mysterio, and then they had a match, and then I kind of was back and forth because I was like, I just fucking love what I'm watching right now, and I'm telling Heather, and then I go back and watch. So I mean, I paid attention to the match, and then the spot happened. Probably the best spot of the fucking night for me, because fucking this is how I know WWE's letting their people do what they want to do, whilst yet being safe about it.
Yeah. And he had the three best people for it.
Yeah, AJ Styles did a super clash.
Onto Kevin
Owens with Rey Mysterio, sandwiched in between them. I don't know if Rey Mysterio is alive. So I'm
okay with that.
Wondering if I will see him next week or not. I think my dream is coming true. No, but so I kid. I think honestly, and Rey Mysterio can put on a good match. I think he can work in the ring. I make fun of him.
Yeah, we shit on him a lot.
Shit done to him, like what fucking AJ Styles did. That's the Rey Mysterio I want to see.
I'll shit on Rey Mysterio all day long, but I'll always say like that the fact that he can go at his age is so admirable.
I agree. For the hard time that I give...
But it's also like, the problem is they pigeonholed him to fight a bunch of fucking cruiserweights.
Yeah.
I like Rey Mysterio fighting someone that's not in his weight class.
Yes.
Much more than seeing him fucking springboard all over the fucking place.
Yeah,
which is why him against AJ and Kevin Owens is so good.
Well, it was a good match.
Well, it's a good combination of different types of wrestling.
Different types of wrestling, and I do agree. Kevin Owens, tweener. I think he could get it because he was doing some heelish shit tonight while doing.
Kevin Owens to me was LA Knight before LA Knight showed up.
Yeah.
Yes. So AJ Styles ended up beating Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio on that move. So we're getting next week on SmackDown. I think it's next week on SmackDown.
We're getting a rematch for
getting
LA
a
Knight.
rematch between LA Knight and AJ Styles for the shot at Cody Rhodes' title.
And
So
honestly,
that is your
how
first
can you go wrong?
With either one, yeah.
Yeah, that's when booking is good, when it doesn't really matter who
So,
wins because you could like to see either or.
Preliminary that match based on what you have seen Triple H do, and this is a question for everybody, and this will be the end of the show, and this is for the chat too, especially with the way they ended the show. Who's winning that match? That's what I want to know from everybody. And you can leave that up. Can you leave that up all week? Or no?
No. I can put it on the
We're
community
gonna
tab.
put a poll out. You all let me know. Or let us know. You know, not just me. Just let all of us know. Go in there and vote. Who do you think is going to win this match? This match, this is the next... I'm not going to say he's going to... The winner of this match is going to be that next part of that era. He's going to be part of that era. But he's that first feud for Cody Rhodes. You're going to see if Cody Rhodes can actually do what Triple H is trying to do with him. At least the beginning of it, if that makes sense. With this new era. That's what I'm getting at. Let us know. We'll actually put a poll out there.
Yeah, this is just your immediate one. And then I'll put another one on the community tab.
My prediction is AJ Styles will win because you want the face versus the heel.
Mm-hmm.
But he will win due to nefarious means.
Of course. I think there's...
if Carl Anderson and fucking what's tits are still there, then they'll be involved.
Yes.
Potentially. I just don't think he'll win, but he'll win not clean.
Right.
Right. I agree.
Because when do you benefit from LA Knight versus
It's
Cody Rhodes? Two major faces.
It's two major faces, and it's a little too soon.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. That's just a preliminary
Yeah.
at this time. I'd like a little bit more of a sample size. And I'm pretty sure that is all over on Twitter. But I'm doing it here on YouTube. Where we are, I should say. So that's how I'm going to actually, and I'm thinking about running the show like this. This is the kind of shit. I am thoroughly excited about what the future holds for WWE. I don't know how long I am for this world. I am 51 fucking years old. But I'm going to tell you right fucking now, this is the best I've ever seen WWE.
It just cuts to rest in peace, JP.
I have been watching them since I was a little kid. This is the best I have ever seen WWE. It's very...
I don't know if it's weird.
If it's not there, it's very, very close.
It's weird because of at certain ages you digest media differently. I would say as an adult, this is close to NXT in its prime.
Yeah.
It ain't there yet. Because NXT in its prime had fucking 9 out of 10 pay-per-views.
Yes.
Agreed.
So that's the only difference I would say as an adult.
Go ahead, Rayshawn. I know you said something.
Yeah, I just came back and I looked at the poll and I said I will go with LA Knight.
You would do a baby face versus a baby face.
Wait, what?
So
It's just said who's going to win the WrestleMania
Because
rematch.
this
isn't to go to WrestleMania.
No.
No,
This
I
is
didn't say
the
that.
rematch. This is going to be the rematch that they're having next week on SmackDown to determine the number one contender for Cody's title.
Yes. At the next pay-per-view. It'll be Cody's first feud coming out of WrestleMania.
I mean, I guess AJ Styles, because they already get LA Knight to win at WrestleMania, so
that's the thing.
I said AJ Styles because he's heel. I would honestly fucking love if they did LA Knight personally.
Honestly,
that would be
Hill-
the match I'd love to see because of that.
I believe that Hill versus Babyface
That's
stuff
too soon,
went out
though.
the window.
Yeah, but the problem is like you put Cody against LA, and I think you're putting a stopper on the loser unless you have some other fucking bullshit planned.
Right.
Yeah, so AJ Styles, you can. We talked about this.
I think it's 75%, 25% for AJ Styles in my mind. But
I agree. I'm not. LA Knight will get his shot.
I would have loved to see that happen just because they're like, fuck you, nobody knows what's going to
It'll
happen.
Yeah.
LA Knight as a heel is very good. That guy can talk. He can talk. I do know that.
That being
I'm looking
said,
forward.
I am going
I'm
to
looking.
tap out.
Huh?
I'm about to tap out.
Okay.
I think we all are.
We're ending the show. We're ending the show.
Okay.
I love what's going on. I'm gonna try to do this. If you can't be here for this show,
We'll figure
that's
it out,
okay.
man. We'll figure it out.
I love talking wrestling. This is
No
how
way.
I'm gonna say this now. This is how I met everybody here. Is through wrestling at some point, some way.
I met you through onlyfarmers.com.
You did. I remember those fucking commercials.
The way you unhusked like those corns.
No, you had it right the first time. Husked.
Oh yeah, well.
But that's not ever gonna happen with bib overalls. It's great.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
No shirt.
And no shirt. The nipples.
You swallowed corn the wrong way.
I look like the guy from The Water Boy. So if reference, come on, guys. So I think I'm gonna do this. If I do it during the evening, that's just I'm gonna do it. However, we'll figure things out because I would love everybody's opinion.
Hey, we got 3.5 hours of conversation out of this.
Yes. I don't want to change No Bucks Given. We've talked about that. It's my personal feeling. If you give me the 3.5 hours to talk wrestling, unless there's some huge news, I'm good. I'll talk whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about. I'll give you my 2 cents, and then I'll go sit in my chair and pass the fuck out. But No Bucks Given is actually, speaking of that, I have that gift.
Okay, so there's a couple things. We'll talk about it because there's a couple things.
That's Star Wars.
It's a couple of things.
Well, I mean, there's of all things. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
So I'm gonna go back to this.
Thing is, when we do HUGM, we usually talk about wrestling.
Yeah,
we do, but if I can, unless it's newsworthy or huge newsworthy, like
huge news.
I actually want to talk about what I think about television, what I've seen in the last, even commercials.
What television are you watching?
So I watch regular TV essentially.
Oh God, bad.
I'm talking about like there's this show,
the weekly shows.
The weekly shows. They're actually
wrestling related or not?
No.
Okay.
I'm just talking about in general, television in general. What I've seen,
dirty and shit like that.
What I've seen out of television, just in general. That's one of the topics that I'd like to talk about on No Bucks Given. Just based on what I've seen, like commercials. Even there've been some really good fucking commercials recently. I'm talking Super Bowl level commercials for me. And I remember watching some fucking Super Bowl commercials. I do. You can fucking get that shit on fucking YouTube. 1980.
Dude, we should do like a 4-hour show where all we talk about is like how good an ad is.
We could. But that being said, I think we're good on the wrestling end for tonight. I won't even talk wrestling unless it's newsworthy on Sunday.
Okay.
I should be good because I ain't watching fucking Collision.
God, please, no, Dynamite's enough.
I mean, I'll check it out, but I'm not going to really talk about it. I don't fucking care.
I won't watch it, but I'll watch it.
Well, I won't mention it because I won't really watch it. I'll actually be watching a baseball game. So, that is how invested in wrestling I am. Because last year I was watching baseball and kind of checking out wrestling. Like,
I mean, half of what you said is like I didn't see this because I was watching baseball.
No, well, see, and that's the thing. But it was after the matches when a match was going on. Like if it was a match I didn't care about, I moved on to something else. But the Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Rey Mysterio thing, I watched it. But at this point, I was really invested. But I was talking to Heather while watching it because she had it on in here, and I had it on. You know, that's what I was doing, and I'd miss a couple of things. But when baseball's on, you know.
When sports in general are on, wrestling kind of.
I'm doing 3 things at one fucking time. Man,
none of them great.
Oh my god, you're a fucking horrible human being.
Yep.
So that
you don't like baseball either, Basement?
No, I like baseball.
He likes baseball. He's just being an asshole.
The team that's closest to him.
Well, I'm like, if I'm gonna review something, I ain't gonna watch something else and then give an honest review about something I didn't watch.
So I'm learning. I figured out how to do it, but that's for this week because the game wasn't on. I had a plan in place, but it wasn't on the channel. It was on another channel, so I had to. It was pissed me off because I was gonna sit here and watch it and watch a baseball game, kind of paying attention to the baseball because I really didn't even watch it.
Baseball is one of those things where it's like I caught 4 innings of a 9-inning game. I watched the whole game. Trust me.
No, but no, with baseball I'm good.
But no,
you're just a dick. You're just being a dick. I watch wrestling more often than not. That's how I feel about it.
Not me.
So, that being said, we'll probably be back next week at some point. If I have to do it myself, I'll fucking do it. But we'll be back on Sunday. I'm talking about this show. This Week in Wrestling. We'll be back next week. I just don't know when. We will be back Sunday night for No Bucks Given, where there's a couple of things I kind of want to talk about that isn't even close to wrestling related.
The poll you put up, Super Racist.
We'll give the results of the poll.
That's gonna be on there. Yeah, well, it's 16% ratio. I remember.
That one too. But the final poll, the one here, we'll give the results. We'll give that one next week. Actually.
You want to go do another poll against me?
No, I'm not doing another poll. Not against you, Rayshawn.
So, how about removing Rayshawn from the thumbnail?
We're not removing him. We're just moving him.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Nope, we're going to move him to a different spot. We're going to put him where Bobbit was.
We're going to move him to a different spot.
We're just going to flip-flop. I said it. We're going to flip-flop him and Bobbit. That's all we're going to fucking do. He's still going to be there. He just won't have the halo.
Oh.
I'm not going to get rid of Rayshawn. Come on. Rayshawn, are you invested?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Since you put up that poll, I'm with him.
I didn't mean it meanly, man. Come on.
I'm 16% invested.
Okay, well, I'll get you at least 50% next week.
We should have voted for him then, motherfucker.
I haven't voted.
Exactly. See, that's the problem.
But if I would I vote for him? I may.
Too late.
Because Heather pitched it. No, I actually would. Because Heather pitched it. She actually could explain to them why you said.
Yeah, explain racism.
Explain, woman.
Why did you put Bobbit where he was?
So it'd also bring their eyes to the little goat icon down in the corner and maybe get them to click to subscribe.
So I also, but
she's playing 18D chess.
But the other thing is, if you didn't notice on the thumbnail, if you go look at it, Basement is standing on AEW with poop emojis.
Yeah, I don't shit on that company. I love it. Why would you do that to me?
That was his idea.
That was my idea. I thought it was funny.
I had you just standing there walking along the top of it like you were in a balancing act, like AEW is now. Hello, metaphors. But then this one, you know, would be really funny.
You know what?
It sounds
I like
it. See?
Why not, man? I'll shit on anything and everything. Except for Rayshawn.
I'll shit on this damn bread.
I am not shitting on Rayshawn. I am not shitting on Rayshawn. It's a win-win for both of them. Either
no, it's not.
I don't think it is.
Actually, it is. Either spot works for me. Me personally, either spot works. That's what I'm getting at. But that being said, everybody have a great night. Thank you. I have been looking forward to doing this, and I have never been more excited for wrestling in my life.
Vote for Rayshawn.
And vote for Rayshawn. Just vote for Rayshawn.
Whatever it is,
yes,
just vote for him.
Just vote for no. Okay.
Oh, this is bad. Don't vote for him. It's bad.
You gotta do it.
So everybody, Jabanka Bakler, you fucking dickhead. So everybody have a great night. Stay safe. Be well. We'll talk to you next week. We'll talk to you on Sunday for No Bucks Given. Have a good night, everybody.
Any of you guys have like terrible nightmares every night?
Not every night, but yes, I've had terrible nightmares.
Oh.